Chapter 2975. He had seen how Yen Nantian tried to snatch the void divine furnace. However, Yen Nantian did not succeed in the end. However, this did not mean that Yen Nantian was weak. On the contrary, Yen Nantian was ridiculously strong. One had to know that the Fire Dragon King and the others could not do anything. However, Yen Nantian did it. Moreover, he almost succeeded. Was this the successor of the great emperor? He was indeed terrifying. Originally, Lin Xian had assumed that only Leaf Dowdenier and Dustless would be a match for him among the humans. However, it seemed that Yen Nantian was really terrifying. His skills were probably above Wu Dao's. "Damn brat, don't you go too far," Zhan Wushuang roared in anger. Even now, Yen Nantian still dared to point a sword at him. This made him very embarrassed. Lin Xian retracted his gaze from Yen Nantian. He then looked at Zhan Wushuang in disappointment and sneered. "Why, did you think that someone would back you up just because you came here? You're still fighting the #1 genius? What a piece of trash. You need someone to back you up. Forget it. A piece of trash like you is not worthy of my help." Lin Xian retracted his sword. Zhan Wushuang was so angry that he vomited blood. He really could not defeat Lin Xian now. Moreover, he was injured. It was not good for him to use his trump card now. Hence, he snorted and stared at Yen Nantian with a gloomy face. He swore that he would not let Yen Nantian go as long as he had the chance. Lin Xian ignored Zhan Wushuang. He did not attack again. After all, Zhan Wushuang was not the only one here. The Fire Dragon King and the others were also here. If he wanted to attack, these guys would definitely attack. There was another reason as well. The Fire Spirit Pearl that he had previously absorbed was actually reacting to him. He had already absorbed the energy in the Fire Spirit Pearl. However, the Fire Spirit Pearl did not shatter. It was like a sparkling crystal that remained in the mysterious small sword. At this moment, the Fire Spirit Pearl vibrated again. Something must have triggered the Fire Spirit Pearl. Was it the Void Divine Furnace or the mysterious Heaven Fire? Lin Xian did not know. However, he felt that this might be an opportunity. Therefore, he did not intend to attack again. On the other side, the Flame Dragon King and the others also had gloomy expressions. They looked at the great Void Divine Furnace in front of them, shook their heads, and sighed. If even Yen Nantian couldn't get it, then they probably wouldn't have a chance either. Therefore, these people either left the valley and returned to the fiery lake to prepare to break the formation and seize the heavenly flame. Otherwise, they would walk to the side and search for other king medicines. Some even sat down cross-legged to recover from their injuries. Lin Xian also came to a secluded place and sat down cross-legged. From the looks of it, he was recovering his strength. In fact, while he was recovering his strength, he was also sending a voice transmission to tell her about the Fire Spirit Pearl in his body. The Crimson Dragon was also surprised. It seemed like the Fire Spirit Pearl was indeed related to something here. He just didn't know. Which one was it? Lin Xian asked. "Ruzalong, do you have the confidence to break these formations?" The Crimson Dragon took a deep breath. It wasn't impossible to crack it, but it would take some time. It might take 1 or 2 years, or maybe 8 or 10 years. After all, you know that these formations are unusual. Lin Xian sighed after hearing that. Even the Crimson Dragon said so. It would be even more difficult for others to crack it. Suddenly, he exclaimed in surprise. He found that the Fire Spirit Pearl in his body was suddenly covered with dense patterns. He had seen these patterns before, but he had been absorbing energy back then and didn't pay attention to them. Now, it seemed that there might be another secret. He studied it carefully and found that it seemed to be a formation. Thinking of this, Lin Xian said, "Ruzalong, protect me secretly." He closed his eyes, and his soul entered the space inside the small sword to study the Fire Spirit Pearl. The others didn't know at all. They all thought that Lin Xian was recuperating. As for those people, They began to walk in all directions. For a moment, the surroundings were eerily quiet. Gradually, Hormuzhan and the others came to the fiery lake again, preparing to crack the heavenly flame formation. The Fire Dragon King and the three ancient royal family elites were busy. Everyone was trying to crack the formation. Around the fiery lake, runes were everywhere, and flames were intertwined. It was a strange scene. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. 3 days had passed, and no one had any clue at all. However, they didn't give up. They knew that it was impossible to crack it in a short time. However, these people didn't give up either. Hormuzhan and the others were even more solemn. They used all that they had learned in their lives. On the other side, Lin Xian also opened his eyes, revealing a trace of ecstasy. Excited, he was really too excited. In the past 3 days, his soul had entered the mysterious small sword to study the Fire Spirit Pearl. He found that the patterns in the Fire Spirit Pearl were actually formations. To be precise, there were 2 formations. One was called the Heavenly Flame Formation, and the other was called the 8 Barons Divine Flame Formation. Not only were the 2 formations recorded in it, but it also recorded the methods to crack them. This made Lin Xian wild with joy. Weren't the Heavenly Flame Formation and the 8 Barons Divine Flame Formation the 2 formations to protect the Heavenly Flame and the Void Divine Furnace? Outside, Hormuzhan and the other top prodigies had used countless methods, but to no avail. However, he had actually found a way to crack it. He was too excited. It seemed like it was time to make a move. However, it was impossible for him to brazenly attempt to breach the 2 spirit formations, because even if he cracked it, the treasures might not necessarily be his in the end. Although he was a top prodigy, there were too many opponents. If the 3 supreme ancient theocrats joined forces, he wouldn't be able to fight them. Therefore, he had to think of a way to let these people kill each other first, and then he would be the fisherman to reap the benefits. Lin Xian transmitted the news to the Crimson Dragon, Morong Qingcheng, and Shen Jingqiu. When the 3 of them heard, their hearts beat wildly, especially the Crimson Dragon, who was trembling with excitement. Do you really have a way to crack it? Lin Xian nodded, but how to do it was still a problem. Morong Qingcheng sighed. Brother Xian, I think it's better to choose one of them. It's not realistic to get both. Indeed, Lin Xian wasn't too greedy. As long as he could get one of the treasures, this trip would not be in vain. Shen Jingqiu blinked her beautiful eyes and said, when Yan Nantian opened the void divine furnace, there was a ball of fiery red light shining. In the end, it turned into an immortal pill. According to my perception, the red pill's aura is very similar to the heavenly flame in the flaming lake. Therefore, I guess that the red pill must be related to the heavenly flame. Perhaps it has some components of the heavenly flame. What? There's such a thing? Lin Xian was shocked when he heard that. Even Morong Qingcheng and the Crimson Dragon were shocked. Chapter 2976. To be honest, they only knew that the red pill was mysterious and contained terrifying power. However, they did not know if it had anything to do with the heavenly fire. Of course, they did not doubt Shen Jingqiu's words because they knew that Shen Jingqiu had an innate spirit body. Such a spirit body was very sensitive to power. Perhaps Shen Jingqiu was the only one who could sense it among all the elite prodigies present. In that case, Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He had an idea. Why don't we give up on the heavenly fire? Firstly, the pill contained the heavenly fire. Hormuzhan and the others were studying the heavenly fire. It seemed that they wanted to seize the heavenly fire. If we break the array now, they would definitely go crazy and fight for the heavenly fire. When they fight, we can take the opportunity to break the 8 Baron Divine Fire Array and get the Void Sky Divine Furnace. Even if we can't take the furnace away, it would be great if we can get the pill inside. After all, the heavenly fire was good, but the Void Sky Divine Furnace was even more mysterious. There might be other treasures inside besides the red pill. However, what if they fight here after breaking the array? We can't go to the valley and take the void sky divine furnace. Murong Qingcheng frowned. Lin Xian smiled mysteriously. It was fine. Fire Qilin Cave had been plotting for a long time. Huamuzhen was powerful, and they knew Skyfire City very well. If they could get the heavenly fire, they would definitely leave. Don't forget about the teleportation array in the garden. They would definitely use that teleportation array to leave. Therefore, there would be a big hunt after they leave. We just have to seize the void sky divine furnace. Lin Xian's plan was very good. Murong Qingcheng and the others nodded when they heard it. All right, let's do it. Lin Xian could not take the initiative to attack. After all, it would be too obvious. Therefore, he told the Crimson Dragon the way to break the array. He told the Crimson Dragon to do it secretly. After all, they were covered by the mysterious feathers and no one could see them. Then, let's get started. Lin Xian transmitted his voice. Then he went outside the valley again, pulled out the Fire Qilin sword, and kept bombarding the valley. He wanted to create a commotion to attract the attention of those people, so that the Crimson Dragon could proceed quietly. As expected, Lin Xian's side began to attack the valley. All sorts of terrifying divine abilities and martial arts were displayed. Rumbling sounds rang out as flames filled the air. Sword Qi danced in the air, attracting the attention of Huamuzhen and the others in the distance. Damn it, what is this brat trying to do? Was he crazy? Humph! Did he think that he could break the 8 Barons' divine fire array just because he could defeat Zhang Wushuang? What an idiot! These people sneered disdainfully. However, they did not know that beside them, the Crimson Dragon was quietly cracking the formation. Lin Xian's solution was obtained from the Fire Spirit Pearl. It was very profound and mysterious. He only needed to change the arrangement of some runic patterns to break the array formation. Therefore, the Dark Rainbow Divine Dragon's operation could be said to be silent. 1 spot, 2 spots, 3 spots. There were a total of 49 spots. In the end, the Crimson Dragon cracked them one by one. When the last one was cracked, the Crimson Dragon hurriedly left with Murong Qingcheng and the others. Not long after they left, a white mist suddenly appeared around the fiery lake, followed by a series of deep voices. The entire ground began to tremble. Damn it, what happened? Huamuzhen and the others were shocked. At first, they thought that something was wrong with Lin Xian's side. However, they realized that it was not the case. There was a problem with the fiery lake around them. Could it be that the formation had been opened? They were extremely shocked. Impossible! They had been searching for so long, but they could not find any clues. How did the formation break? Could it be that someone was lucky and accidentally triggered the mechanism to break the formation? The Fire Dragon King's eyes flickered. After all, it was not only the top prodigies who were cracking the formation. The other prodigies of the 10,000 ancient races were also cracking the formation. There were so many people. Perhaps 1 or 2 of them were lucky enough to encounter it. However, now was not the time for them to think too much. The array formation around the flaming lake let out a rumbling sound and quickly disappeared. The fiery lake appeared in front of everyone, and a monstrous and terrifying aura rushed toward them. It was as if they were facing the divine fire in the valley again. It was finally open. The prodigies of the Fire Qilin Cave were excited. The prodigies of the other 3 royal families were also wild with joy. Feng Yinxue, Huamuzhen, and the others were excited. At this moment, everyone stood up and stared at the fiery lake in front of them. Attack! Huamuzhen was the first to roar. His body flashed and a Fire Qilin appeared and rushed over. Wherever it passed, the world trembled. A terrifying power surged in all directions. Damn it! How dare you? Feng Yinxue shouted. Her arms danced and she struck out the phoenix seal. The Fire Dragon King, Zhan Wushuang, and Husinyan were not willing to be left behind. They all displayed their powerful abilities. Get lost! At the front, Humuzhen roared and spat out a bronze pagoda. As soon as the bronze pagoda appeared, a terrifying aura spread in all directions. With a gentle sound, a terrifying sound wave swept across all directions. Buzz! The space shattered and thousands of runes bloomed. Not good. Seeing this, the Fire Dragon King and the others' expressions changed. That was because the bronze pagoda was too terrifying. The runes on it were terrifying. It was the work of a sage. Those runes were carved by a sage, and they were far more powerful than ordinary weapons. Therefore, in an instant, they were blasted away. Damn it, this guy has been preparing for a long time. He must be plotting against us. Feng Inshue screamed. She felt that the formation was not activated by chance, but by Humuzhen. Previously, the other party had been pretending and did not break the formation directly. Instead, he waited for these people to be exhausted, anxious, and lost their confidence before breaking the formation. The other party was well prepared. At this moment, the bronze pagoda was the best proof. The Fire Dragon King gritted his teeth. On the other side, Yantian let out a long roar. His body emitted a dazzling light. 9 mysterious runes shrouded him and emitted a terrifying aura. Emperor runes! At this moment, Yantian once again used the Emperor runes and quickly walked forward. As soon as the Emperor runes appeared, they blocked the power of the bronze pagoda. I won't let you get the heavenly fire. Yantian's voice was cold, as if a great emperor had been revived. In front of him, Humuzhen sneered. The Qilin head let out a sinister laugh. Who do you think you are? Are you really a great emperor? Who has been revived? You're still too young in front of me. As he spoke, he opened his mouth and spat out third-grade flying swords. Each of them was as red as fire and emitted a terrifying aura. Not good. It's a forbidden artifact. Seeing this, the Fire Dragon King's eyelids twitched wildly. Humuzhen laughed sinisterly. One of the flying swords grew larger and became 100 feet long. It slashed forward and broke through the flaming lake. Another flying sword circled around him. The last flying sword flew toward Yantian and exploded midway. Chapter 2977. Damn it! The forbidden artifact's power was no weaker than a half-step sacred artifact. Dodge it! They dodged one after another. Forbidden artifacts were very powerful, but they could not last long. Generally, they would break after a few uses. Although it was inferior to a half-step sacred artifact in this aspect, it was extremely terrifying in other aspects. For example, its sudden burst of power or the effect of self-destruction was very terrifying. Even Yantian, who had the great emperor's talisman, did not dare to resist it. This energy was comparable to the self-destruction of a half-step sacred artifact. Therefore, he moved quickly. Boom, boom, boom. The void around the flaming lake quickly shattered. Other than Humuzhen, no one dared to stay here. Humuzhen had already opened the flaming lake. In the lake, there was a fist-sized flame that emitted a monstrous aura. Heavenly fire. Humuzhen smiled when he saw the flame. He knew that it was the flame of his dreams, because the aura emitted from it was too terrifying. It was like the king of all flames. Even his body was trembling, and cracks appeared. His own strength could not suppress the heavenly fire at all. However, the bronze pagoda above his head could. It was the work of a sage. The bronze pagoda cast a spell, and thousands of auras hung down like divine chains, enveloping the heavenly fire. Then it kept the heavenly fire. Let's go! Humuzhen laughed loudly and flew in the sky. He called out to the prodigies of the Fire Qilin cave and quickly left. Around him, The Fire Dragon King and Feng Yinshue's eyes turned red when they saw this scene, especially Feng Yinshue. She screamed, "How dare you? Stay!" She screamed crazily. At this moment she did not hold back. 2 pairs of phoenix wings appeared on her back. As she whistled, ice sealed thousands of miles. The entire space froze. The Fire Dragon King also turned into a fire dragon. He kept roaring, and his dragon claws tore the void apart. However, he was forced back by the Rainbow Pagoda. Huomuzhen was extremely powerful at this moment. His speed was also very fast. "Get out of here!" He shouted loudly, turned into rolling flames, and fled. The prodigies of the Fire Qilin Cave followed closely behind. All of them were extremely excited. This was great. They had finally obtained the heavenly flame. "Damn it! Stop them! Don't let any of them go!" Feng Yinshue screamed, and the Fire Dragon King roared as well. Zhang Wushuang, Yan Nantian, and Hua Xinyan also quickly followed. Their target was Huomuzhen. For a moment, many figures were tumbling in the sky. In front of him, Huomuzhen turned his head and revealed a ferocious smile. "You want to hunt me down with just the likes of you? Go to hell!" As he spoke, he let out a roar, and the 3rd flying sword beside him flew out again. This was also a forbidden artifact, and it exploded with a loud bang. Boom, boom. The terrifying energy cut off the space and blocked everyone. By the time the energy dissipated, Huomuzhen had already led the people of the Fire Qilin Cave out of the cave. "Damn it, Chase. I must catch up to him. I can't let him escape." Behind him, the Fire Dragon King Feng Yinshue and the other Sky Prides roared crazily. They killed their way out as if they had gone mad. "Damn it, I was tricked by the Fire Qilin Cave. They would not allow Huomu to escape. Ha ha ha!" Huomuzhen took the lead. He stepped on a fire cloud and flew quickly. Beside him were the Sky Prides of the Fire Cloud Cave. These people were also extremely excited. They had finally obtained the heavenly fire. Next, they could leave this place. According to the ancient emperor's memories, there was a teleportation array ahead that could teleport them away. Previously, Huomuzhen had also sensed that although the teleportation array had not been used for a long time, it was undamaged. It could be activated at any time. After using the teleportation array to leave, they had completely shaken off the people from the nest of 10,000 dragons and the divine Emperor Ridge. At that time, they could calmly go and seize the Qilin Eye. As for the Void Divine Furnace, they had given up this time. However, they had obtained 2 of the 3 treasures of Heavenly Fire City. After returning, the Qilin Crown Prince would definitely be very happy. Thinking of this, they were wild with joy. However, at this moment, a scream came from behind. It turned out that a palm had descended from the sky and directly slapped 2 prodigies of the Fire Spirit Cave to death. Damn it, the ancient Chaos Palm. Seeing this scene, Huomuzhen's face darkened. Needless to say, it was Yan Nantian who had made a move. The other party was really powerful. As expected of someone who had obtained the inheritance of a great emperor, "What should we do, Lord Seventh? Should we kill them?" The eyes of the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Cave beside him were bloodshot. They had never been hunted down like this before. Huomuzhen gritted his teeth and snorted coldly. There was no need to care about these people. "Let's hurry up and fly. All of you, burn your bloodline power. We must leave this place as soon as possible." So what if 1 or 2 prodigies died? As long as they could leave this place, they would be safe. Without their guidance, it would be a problem for the remaining people to leave Heavenly Fire City, let alone obtain the treasures. As they were returning along the same path, the speed of Huomuzhen's group was very fast. They did not encounter any obstruction at all. Not long after, they arrived at the garden from before. Not good. There was something wrong with that garden. It was very likely a teleportation array. Behind them the Fire Dragon King, and the others' expressions changed drastically when they saw this scene. They had felt that it was suspicious previously. Huamuzhen had stood under the rockery in the garden for a long time. At that time, they were suspicious. They had investigated, but they did not find anything. Now, it seemed that there was indeed a problem. Hurry up and don't let him leave. The Fire Dragon King roared angrily. Fire Dragon descends. He used a great divine ability. Phoenix soars the 9 heavens. Ancient Chaos Divine Fist. Apocalyptic Blade. Divine Blade of War. Those top prodigies attacked crazily, trying to destroy the entire garden. As long as the array was destroyed, he did not believe that they could not escape alive. You want to stop me? It's not that easy. Huamuzhen laughed sinisterly, opened his mouth, and spat out another treasure. It was a disc array. It quickly expanded in the wind and directly merged into the void. Then, the array was activated and enveloped the entire garden. Haha, with my divine Sun Universe array, you can stay outside. Huamuzhen and the others laughed crazily. That was an extremely powerful defensive array. Those below the sage level could not break it at all. Those people wanted to stop them. It was purely wishful thinking. As expected, those peerless divine abilities bombarded the array's light screen, producing earth-shattering sounds. The array's light screen trembled, but it did not break at all. Seeing that, the prodigies of Fire Qilin Cave all laughed loudly. Behind them, the Fire Dragon King, Feng Shue, and the others had gloomy expressions. Damn it, he brought so many treasures. Naturally, they had heard of the Divine Sun Universe Array. It was an extremely famous defensive array of Fire Qilin Cave. They did not expect Huamuzhen to bring it here this time. Is it that powerful? Open! Divine Fist of War. Shan Wushuang waved his fist, and countless golden fist shadows bombarded the array, producing clanging sounds. 9 divine crystals flew out of his sleeves in different directions, providing a tremendous amount of energy. Activate the formation. With a cold shout, Huamuzhen's body exploded with light. One after another, mysterious runes struck the formation. Oh no, I can't let him go. Feng Shue, the Fire Dragon King, and the other top Sky Prides attacked like crazy. However, it was still blocked by the array formation. Although cracks had appeared on the formation, it did not shatter. On the teleportation array, Huamuzhen and the others smiled. Goodbye. He was about to leave this place. However, in the next moment, he was stunned. The surrounding prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto also looked at each other. What was going on? Why weren't they teleported away? Damned teleportation array. Activate. Huamuzhen shouted coldly. He thought that the divine crystals he threw out were not enough, so he threw out 9 more and merged them into the array formation. The teleportation array made a buzzing sound, but in an instant, the light disappeared again. They were not teleported away. Damn it, what was going on? How could this be? Huamuzhen's face was gloomy, and the expressions of the prodigies around him changed drastically. Could it be that there was a problem with the array formation? That was impossible. Huamuzhen had personally checked before. The array formation was intact and could be activated at any time. Moreover, he had done it very secretly. He did not believe that these people could see through it. Judging from the situation when these people chased after him, they really did not know that there was a teleportation array here. In other words, these people could not have destroyed it. But why could the teleportation array not be activated? How could this be? Lord Seventh, what should we do? The surrounding prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto also turned pale. Could it be that this array formation was broken? That was impossible. Although many tens of thousands of years had passed, so many killing arrays had been used before. This array formation should not be broken. Their faces were also gloomy. What exactly happened? Damn it, I don't believe it. It must be that the array formation had not been activated for a long time, so the energy required was relatively large. His eyes were bloodshot. This time, he threw out 49 divine crystals. Those divine crystals were like small suns, blooming with vast energy and enveloping the entire array formation. This time, the energy should be enough. Hua Muzhin gritted his teeth and quickly formed a seal with his palms. Everyone's hearts were in their mouths. However, this time, they still did not teleport away. All the energy was absorbed by the array formation, but they still stayed in place. How could this be? The prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto were about to go crazy. They looked at the people outside the array formation, their bodies trembling. Previously, they had completely offended the nest of 10,000 dragons, Divine Phoenix Ridge, and Zhan Wushuang, and other top prodigies. If they could teleport away, then it would be fine. However, if they could not teleport away, they would face the anger of so many top prodigies. Would they be able to withstand it? Not to mention them. Even their 7th generation master would not be able to resist. Hua Muzhin's face also turned green. He roared in exasperation. Damn it, you bastard. Open it. He had gone crazy. He roared like a wild dog, but the array formation remained indifferent. Outside the array formation, Fire Dragon King, Feng Yinxue, and the others were also stunned. What was going on? Hua Muzhin and the others were not teleported away. To be honest, they did not quite believe it either. It seemed that there was a problem with the array formation. Hua Xinyan sneered. Everyone was stunned, then revealed a sinister expression. This Hua Muzhin was really courting death. Fire Dragon King sneered. Feng Yinxue was even more murderous. Great, there was finally a chance to kill him with his own hands. Zhan Wushuang and Yan Nantian also snorted coldly. Their expressions were incomparably cold. They attacked together. They would shatter the array formation. Cracks had already appeared on the array formation. Now that they were attacking even more violently, it probably would not last long. 7th generation master, what should we do? Seeing that more and more array formations around them were broken, the faces of the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto turned green. Chapter 2979. Hua Muzhin was trembling with anger. Damn it, how did this happen? To be honest, he did not expect that he would not be able to leave after offending so many people. His previous plan was very good. He would seize the treasure, activate the teleportation array, and leave directly. However, he had obtained the treasure, but now the array formation had failed. No, it can't have failed. Someone must have sabotaged it. Hua Muzhin looked ferocious. He kept feeling that there was a pair of invisible hands behind him that were pushing everything. When the great heavenly fire array was broken, he had some suspicions. Those people thought that he was the one who broke it, but he knew that he did not know how to break the array formation. However, the array formation was inexplicably broken. He previously thought that someone was lucky and triggered the array formation's mechanism. But now that he thought about it, that was unlikely. This ancient great array was so mysterious that it was not something that could be opened by luck alone. However, in just 3 days, the great heavenly fire array was activated. Now that he thought about it, it was indeed very suspicious. Coupled with the fact that the teleportation array could not be activated, that made Hua Muzhin's heart sink to the extreme. He knew that he had been set up, but who was the culprit? Damn it! Could it be that there's a peerless expert hiding in the dark? Who is it? Get out here! He roared like a madman. How dare you set me up? I'll definitely kill you. Fire Qilin Cave will definitely not let you off. However, no one answered. What answered him was only an earth-shattering sound. With a bang, endless light flickered, and the surrounding divine sun universe array shattered with a bang. Fire Dragon King, Feng Yinxue, and the others rushed over. Behind them were the primordial elites of the nest of 10,000 dragons and divine Emperor Ridge. Oh no! The primordial elites of the Fire Qilin cave were so scared that they were about to cry. Huomuzhen's face was also extremely pale. Wait, this is a misunderstanding. Seeing that the other party had arrived, Huomuzhen hurriedly roared. They had been set up, and they had to find the person who was hiding in the dark. Misunderstanding, my ass. Feng Yunxue rushed forward with a murderous aura, not giving Huomuzhen a chance to speak at all. Previously, the other party dared to call her a bitch and humiliate her. How could she endure it? Buzz. She extended her jade-like hand, which transformed into a divine bird. It carried the divine light of leaf fire as it pierced through the clouds and charged at Huomuzhen. It could be said that he did not hold back at all in this palm strike. Therefore, the sky prides around Huomuzhen trembled, unable to resist at all. Huomuzhen shouted angrily, and a cold light burst from his eyes. A sea of fire gushed out from his body, and his king's domain enveloped the geniuses around him, forming a strong defense. At the same time, he punched out. Boom! The sky was filled with crimson clouds that emanated from his fist, spreading out in all directions. This punch was like a peerless, ferocious beast that had broken free from its shackles and charged forward. Clang! When the two collided, the heavens collapsed, and the earth cracked. A terrifying explosion of energy blew those geniuses away. Only the Flame Dragon King and the others were still able to advance. Huomuzhen's face darkened. He roared, "Retreat!" The sky prides behind him could not withstand such a ferocious attack. At the same time, he quickly retreated. Now that the other party was going crazy, he had to leave this place. However, he had just retreated. Behind him, a divine blade descended. It was sparkling and translucent, carrying terrifying divine force, cutting off his path of retreat. Buzz! Countless runes flickered above his head. A huge vortex appeared, and a godfiend's palm reached out from the vortex, emitting a monstrous aura. It was the Flame Dragon King and Yan Nanshan's attack. Oh no! Huomuzhen's pupils constricted. He was the 7th-generation godfiend, and his strength was incomparably terrifying. However, he could not fight against so many geniuses of the same level as him. Therefore, he could only hide now. His body turned into a stream of light. He burned his bloodline power and narrowly avoided such a terrifying killing move. At the same time, he screamed frantically, "Stop! I've been tricked! The array has been tampered with and can't be used anymore. Moreover, I wasn't the one who broke the heavenly fire array. Someone did it secretly. There's a peerless expert lurking around us. We have to find that person, or there will be endless trouble." Humph! Hearing that, the Flame Dragon King snorted coldly. Zhang Wushuang, Yan Nantian, and the others also felt cold. They didn't believe such nonsense. Feng Yunxue sneered. "Someone tricked you? Someone secretly attacked you? Do you think I'll believe you? We have so many experts, but we can't see through them. Could it be that they're saints? Saints can't enter this place. Besides, when you escaped with the heavenly fire, did someone trick you? When you humiliated me in the array, did someone force you to say that? Damn you, Huomuzhen, I won't let you go today." Feng Yunxue's murderous aura pierced through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The others also attacked aggressively. Although they were also very confused, they were all burning with anger. They had to capture Huomuzhen and torture him. Then they would think about whether the details were, as the other party had said. These people did not hold back. One after another, terrifying divine abilities erupted. "Ah, damn it. I'll fight it out with you." Huomuzhen screamed, crazily. His eyes were wide open, and the blood in his body surged. A huge Fire Qilin phantom appeared and roared at the sky. At the same time, he burned his bloodline power, and the bronze pagoda also rushed out from between his brows. He did not hold back at all and fought against these people. In an instant, a great battle broke out. In the end, Hormuzan used the heavenly fire that he had just obtained. Monstrous flames filled the air. The entire space was enveloped by a peerless power, other than Yen Nantian, the Fire Dragon King, and the others who fought against it. The other archaic prodigies all retreated frantically, not daring to get close at all. However, the prodigies of the nest of 10,000 dragons and the divine Phoenix Ridge did not stay idle. They all charged towards the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Cave. For a moment, the battle was very tragic. While these people were fighting desperately on the other side, the cave was eerily quiet. At this moment, the cave inside was still like a paradise on earth. The flaming lake that was split open by the saber once again recovered, but there was still no one there. In the entire paradise on earth, only Lin Xian was left. Of course, there was also the Crimson Dragon, and the others. They walked out of the mysterious feather. They were finally out. Murong Qingcheng heaved a sigh of relief. Shen Jingqiu looked around curiously. The Crimson Dragon was extremely excited. "Kid, let's start quickly." Lin Xian nodded. There was no time to lose. They had to make a move quickly. Who knew what happened to those people outside? The group of people moved quickly and arrived outside the valley, looking at the ethereal divine furnace in front of them. Everyone's eyes burned with passion. My line, my line. The little white monkey also jumped out, scratching its ears and cheeks anxiously. However, it also knew that the formation ahead was terrifying, so it did not dare to move forward. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He and the Crimson Dragon worked together and quickly broke the 8 barren divine fire formation. Chapter 2980. Since they already had a way to break it, they acted very quickly. Not long after, the entire 8 Desolation Divine Fire Array trembled slightly and then disappeared. Great, it's broken! The Crimson Dragon was overjoyed, and the little white monkey flew over. Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and Shen Jingqiu also came forward. The Void Divine Furnace. Everyone looked at the divine furnace in front of them excitedly. One of the pills inside was refined using the heavenly flame, so its value was definitely higher than the heavenly flame. And that was only one of the treasures. There must be other treasures inside. In other words, the value of the void divine furnace far exceeded the heavenly fire. Hurry up and take it away. The Crimson Dragon set up a formation outside to prevent them from causing too much of a commotion and alerting the outside world. Let Ben Huang try. After setting up the formation, the Crimson Dragon couldn't wait any longer. He opened his mouth and wanted to swallow the void divine furnace. The mysterious runes on the void divine furnace flickered, and a terrifying divine fire spread out. The Crimson Dragon was so scared that he quickly retreated. No, although the 8 Desolation Divine Fire Array was broken, the Void Divine Furnace was too terrifying. It would be difficult for anyone below the Sage Realm to walk. Let's open the furnace. The Crimson Dragon shook his head. He stretched out his dragon claws, grabbed the top of the furnace, and lifted it. However, the Void Divine Furnace didn't move at all. Damn. Why is it so heavy? Everyone was stunned. The dark red divine dragon could easily lift 100,000 mountains with just one move. However, the void divine furnace didn't move. That Yen Nantian was really powerful. He could lift the top of the void divine furnace with just one hand. Murong Qingcheng exclaimed. Shen Jingqiu was also surprised. She had to admit that the Emperor's divine ability was indeed powerful. Let me try. Lin Xian stood out. His 9 yang divine body shone brightly as he used his full strength. A pair of golden hands grabbed the top of the furnace. Open for me, Lin Xian shouted angrily. His black hair danced wildly, and the entire void trembled. Countless cracks appeared around him. The illusionary divine furnace also began to tremble and rumble. Lin Xian was like a god of war, his power erupting once again. Finally, a crack appeared in the furnace. It was activated. The Crimson Dragon was overjoyed. Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu were also shocked. As expected of the 9-yang divine body, it was indeed terrifying to possess such divine power. Lin Xian's face was flushed red. Activating this sliver was already his limit. He couldn't open it completely. However, he also had a backup plan. "Come out, great dragon sword spirit." With a cold shout, a dragon-shaped sword shadow flew out and circled in the sky. Then, it pierced into the gap. Clang! An earth-shattering sound could be heard. Fortunately, there was a formation around them, so it did not spread out. Seeing the great dragon sword soul enter the gap, Lin Xian breathed a sigh of relief. He loosened his grip. His arm was numb. He had to admit that the great void divine furnace was too terrifying. At the same time, he was even more shocked. It seemed that the chaotic ancient technique was incomparably terrifying. The inheritance of Atharch was indeed not to be underestimated. He had to pay more attention to Yen Nantian in the future. But now he put away his thoughts and focused on dealing with the great void divine furnace in front of him. Buzz. He grabbed the great dragon sword spirit with one hand. Then he pressed it down. He wanted to use the great dragon sword spirit as a lever to pry open the great void divine furnace's cauldron. If it was an ordinary heaven-grade top-tier weapon, it would probably break in an instant. Even a half-step sacred weapon might not be able to withstand it. However, the great dragon sword spirit was different. This was an offensive saint technique between heaven and earth. It would not break at all. Lin Xian did not have to worry. He only needed to use all his strength. Rumble, rumble. The top of the great void divine furnace finally emitted a creaking sound. The crack grew bigger and bigger, and finally more than half of it was opened. Buzz. As soon as the divine furnace opened, a red light rushed out of it, emitting a peerless aura. It turned into a pill and floated at the entrance. It was that pill. Seeing this scene, the Crimson Dragon exclaimed in surprise. Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu also held their breaths. Previously, they had seen this pill. The power of this pill was too terrifying. Mysterious runes appeared on Shen Jingqiu's body. She carefully sensed it. That's right. This pill indeed contained the aura of the divine fire. Keep it. Lin Xian took out the 9-story pagoda. It was also a half-step sacred weapon, and he controlled it. He put away the red pill. After doing all this, he heaved a sigh of relief. The Crimson Dragon looked ahead eagerly. "Kid, look. Are there any treasures inside?" They looked ahead. It was chaos inside, and they could not see clearly at all. "Kid, activate your heavenly secret divine eyes." The Crimson Dragon urged. Lin Xian activated his heavenly secret divine eyes and looked inside. In the next moment, he could not see clearly what kind of chaos he passed through. However, he saw that there were many flickering lights inside. He thought that there should be treasures inside. He said that there were indeed treasures, but he could not take them out. Lin Xian stretched out his palm and reached into the chaos, wanting to take out the treasures. However, as soon as he entered, the 9-yang palm cracked, and he quickly retracted it in fear. It seemed that the aura of the wonton was even more terrifying than the divine fire. Did he have to wait for the treasures to fly out? The Crimson Dragon's eyes were red. He muttered something and formed a seal with his dragon claws. He shouted, "Come out, treasure!" However, there was no reaction from the void divine furnace. The Crimson Dragon was so angry that it roared and slapped it with its claws. "Damn it! Wu Ji, the Snow White monkey jumped. It was also so angry that it scratched its ears and cheeks and took off the treasure plate on its head. The snow-white monkey used all its strength, and its body emitted a white light. It used the treasure plate to the extreme. Similarly, mysterious runes appeared one after another. Lin Xian also took out the fire spirit pearl from the mysterious sword and placed it on the treasure plate. He did not know what use it would be. However, he had a feeling that the fire spirit pearl should be related to the void divine furnace. As expected, under the effects of the two, a few more rays of light flew out from the void divine furnace. It's coming out. There are treasures coming out. A total of 4 rays of light came out and floated at the entrance. Seeing this, the snow-white monkey waved its claws and directly put away a blue fruit. Then it was elated, and its big eyes turned into crescents. Other than the blue fruit, there were 3 other things. One of them was a blood-colored lingji. This was not an ordinary lingji. It was even more terrifying than the king of medicine. This was because there were mysterious runes on it that did not look like they were carved by humans. Heavens, could this be natural doubt patterns? The crimson dragon swallowed his saliva. He had never seen such a magical spirit herb before. Lin Xian, can you give this blood lingji to me? Shen Jingqiu's beautiful eyes widened. There were also terrifying runes spinning on her body. She had formed a connection with the blood lingji. Lin Xian smiled. Of course, these are all for you. Then I won't stand on ceremony. Shun Jingqiu formed a seal with her palm, and the blood lingji flew to her side and was kept by her. Roar. No, Ben Huang had to choose one too. The crimson dragon stared at the remaining 2 things. At this moment, a roar came with a terrifying aura. Even the blood in Lin Xian and the others' bodies surged. Chapter 2981. What a terrifying bloodline suppression. What is this? The crimson dragon's eyes were red as it stared at the black pill. This thing looked ordinary, but it was actually so terrifying. Could it be the legendary Thousand Beasts elixir? Heavens, Ben Huang wants this thing. The crimson dragon waved its claws and kept the black pill. Then I will take the last thing. Murong Qingqing smiled and waved her jade-like hand. Although there was only one left, she was not dissatisfied. In fact, she was very happy. The last thing was a 7-colored lotus. The 7 petals were like rainbows, shining with a mysterious aura. Needless to say, this was also a treasure. Everyone was very satisfied with the treasures they obtained. Next, the little white monkey activated the treasure basin again. Lin Xian used the fire spirit pearl, but it was useless. None of the treasures came out. They knew that they might have used up all their opportunities. However, it did not matter. Each of them obtained a treasure. Moreover, they knew that any treasure in their hands was far more valuable than the Heaven Fire. It could be said that they were the biggest winners in this trip to Heaven Fire City. Lin Xian kept the great dragon sword soul, and the divine furnace slowly healed. Finally, the void sky divine furnace merged into one again. It emitted a mysterious aura and floated there. Are we leaving? Murong Qingqing asked. The crimson dragon looked at it and said reluctantly, Oh, this is a peerless treasure. Are we going to leave it here? I really want to take it away. Kid, do you have any other ideas? Lin Xian was also reluctant. To be honest, although he could not take it out now, he wanted to take it away. In the future, when he became stronger, he would definitely be able to get the treasures inside. Therefore, he wanted to get it. After thinking for a while, he said, I will give it a try. Others might not have a way, but he had a way. He had the mysterious small sword in his body. Previously, the mysterious small sword had absorbed the fire spirit pearl. This time, it should be able to take the void sky divine furnace. However, he could not take the initiative to move the mysterious small sword. Therefore, he was ready to take the risk. He reached out and grabbed the void sky divine furnace. The void sky divine cauldron released a divine flame that enveloped Lin Xian. The 9-yang divine body resisted the divine flame, but the divine flame was too terrifying. Cracks instantly appeared on his 9-yang divine body. He roared, "Damn it, keep it!" Just as his body was about to shatter, the mysterious little sword in his body finally trembled. A beam of sword light shot out and enveloped the void sky deity. In the next moment, the void divine furnace disappeared from the valley. Disappeared. The void divine furnace seemed to have disappeared. Morong Ching and the others widened their eyes, and the crimson dragon screamed, "Kid, did you succeed?" Lin Xian closed his eyes, and his soul entered the mysterious little sword. Sure enough, he discovered that the Nihility divine furnace had appeared in that mysterious space. This made him sigh in relief. He opened his eyes, and a smile appeared on his face. He had succeeded. Hurry up and leave. Don't get blocked by those people. If they find out that it was us who did it in secret, these people will probably go crazy. The Crimson Dragon and the others prepared to leave. Lin Xian nodded and also wanted to leave. However, just as they turned around, a mysterious flame suddenly appeared in the place where the void divine furnace was originally floating. As soon as it jumped, the space in the entire valley instantly shattered. A terrifying spatial power enveloped Lin Xian and the others. In the next moment, they disappeared from the valley. On the other side, the battle in the garden was fierce. Huamuzhen's body was covered in blood, and his body was covered in cracks. He had already been defeated twice, and this was the result of using all his trump cards and burning his bloodline power. Otherwise, he would have been killed long ago. On the other side, the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Cave were also on the verge of death. Many of them were injured, and many of them were killed. Damn it, stop. I'm not fighting anymore. I'll hand over the heavenly fire. Huamuzhen was furious. However, if he did not hand over the heavenly fire, he would really lose his life. Not only him, but all the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Cave would be killed. He could not bear the consequences. Hearing this, the Fire Dragon King and the others stopped. Huamuzhen reluctantly took out the bronze pagoda. He divided the heavenly fire into 6 portions and gave them to the Fire Dragon King and the other 5 prodigies. Only then did the other party stop. However, Feng Yunxue looked at him with a cold expression. In the end, she did not make a move. Huamuzhen heaved a sigh of relief. However, in the next moment, he was so angry that he trembled. Who was it? Who was it that tricked him? He decided to go back and take a look. The others also felt that the matter was a little strange. After all, they felt that it was unreal that the heavenly fire array was activated so easily. Therefore, these people also followed Huamuzhen and returned to the cave. When they entered the cave, they found that it was quiet inside. They first came to the flaming lake and saw that everything was normal. Feng Yunxue sneered. "All right, we've already obtained the heavenly fire. It doesn't matter even if you lied and plotted against us." The others also looked over. Huamuzhen shook his head. "Someone must have tricked me. Let's go to the valley and take a look. There might be something wrong with the void divine furnace." They flew toward the valley. Among them, although the Fire Dragon King and the others were suspicious, they did not think that the other party had the ability to seize the void divine furnace. One had to know that even the successor of the great emperor, Yan Nantian, could not do anything. Moreover, he only survived after risking a chaotic ancient imperial talisman. It was impossible for others to take it away, unless it was a saint, and an extremely terrifying one at that. Only then would they be able to quietly take away the void wave divine furnace. With a suspicious attitude, they flew toward the valley. However, when they arrived at the valley, they were completely dumbfounded. With a clang, the bronze pagoda above Huamuzhen's head fell to the ground. However, He did not care at all. He stared straight ahead. Where was the void divine furnace? Feng Inxue also screamed. The pupils of the Fire Dragon King, Zhan Wushuang, and Huixinyan also shrank. Yan Nanshan's eyes burst with a piercing cold light. The stars in his eyes flickered, as if they were the eyes of the martial path, sweeping in all directions. Could it be that he had hidden it? However, under such a terrifying eye technique, nothing could be hidden. He realized that the void divine furnace had really disappeared. Not only had the void divine furnace disappeared, but the 8 barren divine fire array had also disappeared. As soon as Huimuzhen entered the valley, he roared crazily. Who was it? Damn it! Who was the one who did it? The others were also sweating profusely. The great heavenly fire array was broken. The 8 barren divine fire array was also broken by someone. Which expert was it that did this? It could not be the younger generation. No one had such terrifying ability. Even the top young array masters could not do it. The Fire Dragon King and the others shook their heads. They had a deep understanding of how terrifying the 8 barren divine fire array was. Even the 10,000 ancient races couldn't produce such a prodigy, let alone the human race or anyone else. Who was it? Chapter 2982. Super Expert. There was a super expert hiding in the dark. Damn it, what method did he use to enter? Which faction super expert was he from? These people went crazy. They felt that not only Huimuzhen, but all of them had been tricked by the other party. The other party first cracked the heavenly fire formation and made them fight for the heavenly fire. Then the other party quietly took away the void divine furnace after they left. Thinking of this, everyone felt like they had been played, especially Huimuzhen, who spat out a mouthful of blood with a cry. Even he had been injured by it. Who was it? Wait, where was that kid? Where was that human kid? Feng Inxue suddenly screamed. The others also looked at each other. Yes, where was Lin Xian? If Lin Xian was an ant before, they wouldn't take him seriously. However, the battle between him and Zhan Wushuang made them know that this kid was very strong, not weaker than them. However, during the battle for the heavenly fire, he didn't appear at all, and now he disappeared. Could it be that he took the void divine furnace? When these words were said, the other's eyelids twitched. Impossible! No matter how strong that kid is, he's at most on par with us. If we can't take it, what right does he have to take it? Yes, even Brother Yen, the successor of a great emperor, couldn't do anything. How could this kid have such methods, although he had the 9 young divine body and the great dragon sword soul? These two were both offensive and combat aspects. In terms of cracking formations, he didn't have any advantage. In fact, he was even inferior to them. They didn't believe that it was Lin Xian who took the void divine furnace, because if that was the case, it was too sensational. Yan Nan frowned. If the other party didn't take it, then why did the other party disappear? Could it be that it was the super saint behind this kid? They knew that Lin Xian was related to at least 3 super saints. First, Xia Jiuyou, that was Immortal Palace's old palace master. Second, Lin Zhan, that was the other party's father. Third, Lord Alcohol, had a deep relationship with the other party. What if it was really Lin Xian who had colluded with one of the 3 super sages to take it away? It shouldn't be. The Fire Dragon King and the others shook their heads. Ever since the darkness upheaval, the ancestors of the 3 ancient royal families have been secretly watching the actions of the human race's super saints. If it's one of those super sages, our patriarch will definitely know about it. At that time, he would definitely not let the matter rest. Therefore, it couldn't be them. Who was it? Could it be that another hidden mysterious saint had taken action and seized the void divine furnace? But this kid happened to see it, and then he killed this kid. It was possible. Everyone nodded. They felt that this was also a possibility. Huimuzhen's face was gloomy. No matter who had done it this time, he had really lost. He only managed to obtain 1/6 of the heavenly flame before the void divine furnace disappeared. How was he going to explain himself when he returned? That's right, the Cheelant's eye. There was still the Cheelant's eye. He had to get the Cheelant's eye. Otherwise, the Cheelan crown prince would not forgive him when he returned. In the next moment, he looked at the Fire Dragon King and the others. You guys don't need to follow me anymore. At this point, he waved his sleeve, and endless runes condensed in the air, forming a map. This is the way out. You guys follow this path. I have other things to do. With that, he quickly left with the people of the Fire Cheelan Cave. Damn it. This guy must have secrets that he's hiding from us. Could it be that there are other treasures in Heavenly Flame City? Feng Inshua looked at the other party's back and gritted his teeth. Should we follow? The other's eyes flickered. These people discussed and decided to follow and take a look. They felt that Humujin must be hiding something. They followed for a while, but found that he had completely disappeared. This made them sigh. Forget it. This guy knows more than us. It's easy to shake us off. Let's go back the way we came. Yen Nantian and the others shook their heads. Everyone decided to return. In the true spirit world, Heavenly Flame City floated in the sky, emitting a terrifying aura. The great sects of the human race and the 10,000 ancient races were waiting nervously. After all, they had sent in so many geniuses. It seemed that Heavenly Flame City would disappear in a month or two. They wondered how far Humujin and the others had gone. Did they get the Heavenly Flame? Did they get the Void Divine Furnace? Cheelan Eye? The eyes of the experts of the Fire Cheelan Cave flickered. They still didn't know that the Void Divine Furnace had been quietly taken away by someone else. Humujin had only obtained 1/6 of the Heavenly Flame. As for the Cheelan Eye, it was still unknown. If this news were to spread, it would probably shock the entire Fire Cheelan Cave. On this day, in a place not far from Sky Flame City, the void split open and a few figures fell from the void. As soon as these people appeared, their bodies shone brightly, and they instantly recovered. Where is this? A beautiful woman in purple asked curiously with widened eyes. Beside her was a peerless beauty in white, a dark red divine dragon, a snow-white monkey, and a black-robed youth. It was Lin Xian and the others. After Lin Xian recovered his strength, he looked around. Heavenly Flame City, we're out. Sure enough, Murong Qingsheng and the others also saw the incomparably huge Heavenly Flame City. They heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, they were worried. What about the disciples of the sacred grounds? There should be a way out. Lin Xian's eyes also flickered. Peacock and the other martial artists of the Immortal Palace were also inside. However, he wasn't worried. With so many disciples of the sacred grounds inside, there would definitely be a way out. Lin Xian said, "Let's leave this place quickly. After all, we came out early. If we were discovered by others, there would be a lot of questions and suspicions." At this point, Murong Qingsheng took out a mysterious feather, covered their aura, and quickly left. Sure enough, not long after they left, a few primordial kings looked over. What's going on? Why do I feel an energy fluctuation? Could it be that someone came out early? Impossible. It's not time yet. These people shouldn't have come out. Perhaps a demonic beast happened to pass by. They patrolled the surroundings again, but they didn't find anyone suspicious. Only then did the primordial kings withdraw their gazes. On the other side, in the void, Lin Xian and the others heaved a sigh of relief. That was close. These primordial kings were so cautious. Forget it, let's leave quickly. They flew quickly in the dark. Finally, they arrived 5 million miles away. Lin Xian was still worried. He flew another 10 million miles before landing in the forest below. It should be fine. We're already far away from Heavenly Flame City. Those people won't be monitoring here. They heaved a sigh of relief. "Kid, where are we going next?" the Crimson Dragon asked. Chapter 2983. Qingcheng and the others also looked over. Lin Xian said, "The main group hasn't returned yet. It's not good for us to wander around outside to avoid being discovered. How about this? Let's go back to the Immortal Palace to cultivate in seclusion. We've all obtained quite a few treasures. Why don't we take advantage of this time to consume them?" Okay. Morong Qingcheng and Shun Qingqiu nodded. They could also return to the Immortal Palace to cultivate while waiting for the people from their holy land to return. The Crimson Dragon took out the array platform and opened the space gate. The few of them quickly left. Inside the Immortal Palace, the array flickered. Lin Xian and the others appeared, attracting the attention of the head guardian and the others. "Palace Master, why are you back?" They were extremely shocked, because they were also paying attention to Sky Flame City, but no one came out. Lin Xian said, "It's a long story. First, seal off the news. Don't let anyone know that we came out." Yes, the head guardian hurriedly went to seal off the news. Lin Xian brought Morong Qingcheng and the others into the Starry Palace. Everyone went into seclusion. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged. First, he recovered his body to its peak state. He took out the 9-layered pagoda. There was a red pill floating in the air inside. Just by smelling the pill's fragrance, Lin Xian felt refreshed. The blood in his body boiled, as if his strength had increased. It was indeed an immortal pill. He was wild with joy. Gulp. He swallowed it decisively. A violent power erupted. Lin Xian closed his eyes and slowly formed a seal. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon, Snow White Monkey, Morong Qingcheng, and Shen Jingqiu also swallowed the treasures they obtained. Everyone went into seclusion. 1 month, 2 months. At the beginning of the 3rd month, Sky Flame City emitted a terrifying energy that forcefully teleported everyone out. Its terrifying figures slowly disappeared into the void. Sky Flame City disappeared. The terrifying pressure dissipated, making everyone heave a sigh of relief. At the same time, everyone sighed. They didn't know when they would be able to explore Heavenly Flame City again. The people of the Fire Qilin Cave were extremely excited. They sent out a dozen Archean kings to bring Wumuzhen and the others back. The nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge did the same, sending out a large number of experts. Leaf Daudenier, Dustless, Alcade, the Grand Summer Photon, and the others all emerged. Their auras were much stronger than before. Clearly, these people had obtained their own fortuitous encounters in Heavenly Flame City. That was especially true of Leaf Daudenier. Clenching his fists, he called out to the Yi clan experts. This time, he had indeed encountered a great opportunity. "Brother Gu, Brother Wuhua, Brother Xia, I'll be leaving first." Yi Wudao waved at Gu Santong, and the others then left with the Yi clan cultivators. "Let's go." Gu Santong and the rest took a deep breath. They had all gained a lot, and now it was time to go back and digest it. The elders of the various sacred grounds all came to receive them. People from Immortal Palace, Peacock, and the others also appeared. People from Purple Afterglow, Holy Land, and Jade Lake, Holy Land also appeared. However, they were extremely nervous because they didn't know how Lin Xian, Morong Qingcheng, and Shen Jingqiu were doing. Had they come out? Among them, Invincible King from Purple Afterglow, Holy Land, and Jade Lake, Holy Land also frowned after asking around. They didn't see Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu in the sky, which made them extremely worried. Whoosh! The Great Guardian flew over and quickly transmitted a message to the two of them, telling them not to worry. The Jade Lake Holy Daughter and Purple Afterglow Holy Daughter were in seclusion in Immortal Palace and would probably come out after a while. Hearing this, the people from Purple Afterglow, Holy Land, and Jade Lake were stunned at first. Then they heaved a sigh of relief. They knew about the relationship between Morong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and Lin Xian. The Great Guardian couldn't be wrong. Well, when the Holy Daughter comes out, please inform us, Great Guardian. They left with the geniuses of the sacred grounds. The Great Guardian also returned to Immortal Palace with Peacock and the others. Everyone was taken away, and the sky was clear again. Fire Chilin Cave. At this moment, the atmosphere was gloomy. When Fire Chilin Crown Prince learned that Humushin had only obtained 1/6 of the heavenly flame, his face fell. When he learned that the Great Void Divine Furnace had been taken away by a mysterious person, he was even more furious. Trash, a bunch of trash. The Chilin Crown Prince roared in anger, and the entire Fire Chilin Cave shook. Those invincible kings were trembling in fear, not daring to speak. Did you get the Chilin's eye? The Chilin Crown Prince asked in a deep voice. Humushin and the others knelt on the ground and said respectfully, reporting to the Crown Prince, we got the Chilin's eye. Hearing this, the primordial kings heaved a sigh of relief, and the Chilin Crown Prince squinted his eyes. As for you, the Chilin Crown Prince's eyes fell on Humushin, and suddenly Humushin trembled. Although he was the 7th generation lord, and his bloodline power was strong, he was like an ant in front of the Chilin Crown Prince. The Chilin Crown Prince's bloodline power made him unable to resist. Even the blood in his body had solidified. This was the Crown Prince's bloodline power. In the entire world, only the other Crown Princes and Princesses could contend with him. Other than them, no one could contend with him. Reporting to the Crown Prince, Lin Xian also disappeared with the Great Void Divine Furnace. We don't know if he's dead or alive, and I suspect that he has something to do with the disappearance of the Great Void Divine Furnace. What? Lin Xian. The Chilin Crown Prince frowned. This wasn't the first time he heard this name. Lin Xian was arrogant before, but he didn't think that Lin Xian had the strength to get the Great Void Divine Furnace. According to Humushin, even Yen Nantian, the successor of a great emperor, couldn't get it, so how could Lin Xian do it? At this moment, the primordial kings said, reporting to the Crown Prince, we didn't find any trace of Lin Xian outside Sky, Flame City. If he wasn't killed, then he must have something to do with the Great Void Divine Furnace. That kid didn't come out. The Chilin Crown Prince's eyes flickered, and he looked at Humushin again. All right, you'll be in charge of this. This is a good chance for you to atone for your mistakes, so you must seize it. Don't worry, Crown Prince, I'll find that kid. Humushin quickly nodded. After handing over 1/6 of the heavenly flame and the Chilin eye, Humushin immediately led his men and left the Fire Chilin Cave. They headed to the Immortal Palace. They wanted to confirm whether Lin Xian was dead or alive. If Lin Xian was dead, then this matter had nothing to do with him. However, if he was still alive, he definitely knew the whereabouts of the Great Void Divine Furnace. Therefore, as long as Lin Xian was alive, they would capture him at all costs. The group arrived outside the Immortal Palace and shouted for Lin Xian to come out. After the Immortal Palace's guardian heard this, he frowned and reported there was no need to reply to them. If they dared to attack, activate the array, and beat them out. Although the Great Guardian didn't know what had happened, he knew that Lin Xian and the others might have obtained some kind of treasure and provoked the Fire Chilin Cave to hunt them down. After all, Lin Xian and the others came out 2 months in advance. Furthermore, Lin Xian didn't look frustrated at all. Instead, he looked excited. It was obvious that he had obtained a treasure. Therefore, the Great Guardian had to protect the safety of Lin Xian and the others. After the Guardian received the order, he immediately returned. They looked at Humushin and the others outside the array and said coldly, either get lost or die. Chapter 2984. You're courting death. Attack. Tear apart their array formation. Humushin went crazy. The prodigies of Fire Chilin Cave behind him quickly attacked. A sea of fire fell from the sky, sizzling as it pierced through the void. The terrifying power surged forward like an avalanche. Huamushan attacked even more fiercely. Boom! Millions of fire chilants roared and surged. The entire world seemed to be torn apart. Stubborn! Activate the array formation. The guardians of Immortal Palace also shouted coldly. They quickly controlled the array disk. Immediately, a peerless array formation erupted, and a terrifying aura enveloped heaven and earth. Streaks of murderous sword light soared into the sky, slashing in all directions with mountain-like pressure. Boom, boom, boom. The people of Fire Chilan Cave were indeed terrifying. However, Immortal Palace's protective array was even more terrifying. In the end, the prodigies of Fire Chilan Cave were forced to retreat, and the sea of fire in the sky was torn apart. A few other prodigies were pierced by the peerless murderous aura, and their blood dyed the sky red. Huamushan's arm was numb, and he was trembling with anger. Damn it, I don't believe that you won't come out. They gritted their teeth and waited outside Immortal Palace. This wait lasted for half a month. However, there was no trace of Lin Xian at all. 7th generation. Should we continue waiting? The prodigies of Fire Chilan Cave had lost their patience. Huamushan's face was gloomy. He reckoned that they could not continue waiting. Moreover, if the other party wanted to use the teleportation array to leave, they would not be able to wait there. Huamushan thought for a moment, gritted his teeth, and said, "Follow me." The group of people soared into the sky and disappeared into the void. 7th generation. Should we go back? But what about the Crown Prince? The prodigies of Fire Chilan Cave were worried. Huamushan laughed sinisterly. Let's not go back first. I'll think of a way to get that kid out. Get him out? Everyone was puzzled. They had forcefully attacked Immortal Palace, but they could not get that kid out. What else could they do? Soon, they understood. They even revealed sinister smiles. As expected of the 7th Immortal Palace, his method was indeed mysterious. It turned out that Huamushan went directly to the human city and began to spread the news that Lin Xian had died in Heaven Fire City. At first, everyone did not believe it. Who was Lin Xian? That was Central Emperor. He was the top genius of the younger generation of the human clan. How could anything happen to him? However, the more the news spread, the more it became. It was even described in vivid and colorful ways, making everyone suspicious. Could it be that Lin Xian had really fallen? It was said that he was mercilessly killed by the formation while trying to snatch a peerless treasure. That's not right. Why did I hear that he was instantly killed by a mysterious expert? In short, that kid was really dead. That's right. I remember that outside Sky, Flame City, I didn't see that kid. Many geniuses from the sacred grounds spoke. Everyone was in an uproar. Indeed, ever since they entered Heaven Flame City, they had never seen Lin Xian's figure again. This was really suspicious. After all, they had seen Yi Wudao and the other human geniuses. However, Lin Xian still hadn't appeared. Could it be that he had really fallen? This news quickly spread throughout the world. Everyone was shocked. After all, Lin Xian was not an ordinary person. He was the top genius of the human clan, the hope of the human clan. Now that he had fallen, it was definitely an earth-shattering event. When Goose Santong Wuhua and the others heard this, they were speechless. They went to find Yi Wudao. However, Yi Wudao was in seclusion and could not see him for the time being. What's going on? Let's ask Immortal Palace first. The two of them went to Immortal Palace, but the protective formation was activated. They did not see Lin Xian either. This made them even more confused. Could it be that Huamushan was telling the truth? Many sacred grounds and sects asked Immortal Palace to investigate Lin Xian's situation. However, they were all blocked by the head enforcer. The matter outside was in an uproar. Immortal Palace's people were also discussing it. Peacock and the others were also worried. The head enforcer's face was gloomy. What were these people from Fire Qilin Cave doing? It seemed that the thinking brush was forcing Lin Xian to appear. What were they planning? Could it be that the palace master had really obtained a peerless treasure? The head enforcer did not know. He did not plan to take the initiative to deal with this matter, because he really did not know what Fire Qilin Cave was planning. Everything would wait until Lin Xian came out of seclusion. Immortal Palace activated the peerless formation and did not see him. The head enforcer was silent. Could it be that Lin Xian had really fallen? News came out one after another. They wanted to go to Immortal Palace to confirm it, but Immortal Palace was silent. Didn't that mean that what Huomuzhen and the others said was true? This news seemed to have pierced through the sky and quickly spread to the entire world. In an instant, everyone was discussing this matter. Humph! After Huomuzhen received the news, he sneered. Kid, let's see what you're going to do this time. If the other party was still alive, he would definitely come out. If the other party did not come out, it meant that he had really been killed. He only needed to wait patiently. The people of the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Emperor Ridge also received the news. The 10,000 ancient races were also discussing that Lin Xian couldn't have been killed, right? It was possible that Immortal Palace would not respond. Haha, that's really good. That kid is going against the 10,000 ancient races. He's dead for sure now. The 10,000 ancient races were excited, but the people of Divine Emperor Ridge and Nest of 10,000 dragons frowned, especially the Flame Dragon King and Feng Yinxue. They had entered that mysterious cave. Naturally, they knew that Lin Xian had mysteriously disappeared. Could it be that Huomuzhen really thought that Lin Xian's disappearance was related to the disappearance of the Void Divine Furnace? No idea. Forget it. Since Huomuzhen had set up this trap, they would just wait patiently. If that kid really came out, there might really be a connection. Feng Yinxue sneered. They were all watching silently. At the same time, Yan Nantian and Zhan Wushuang were also secretly watching the world's movements. The outside world was in an uproar, but inside Immortal Palace and Stellar Hall, it was abnormally quiet. On this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. Boom, boom, boom. As he woke up, a huge vortex appeared above Stellar Hall. Countless lightning bolts descended. Lin Xian let out a long roar and rushed out. What was going on? Countless elders rushed over. The martial artists of Immortal Palace also looked up at the sky. The lightning in the sky was too terrifying. It was densely packed, as if it wanted to destroy Immortal Palace. Heavens, could it be that someone is attacking us? This is a heavenly tribulation. Someone is breaking through. Cries of surprise and discussion sounded one after another. The great guardian Li Xuanxian and the others were the first to appear in the sky. Palace Master, they naturally saw Lin Xian's figure. Don't be nervous. I'm breaking through. Defend the other buildings and the martial artists of Immortal Palace, Lin Xian said, and then disappeared into the void in an instant. The Palace Master was breaking through. Heavens, what realm was he breaking through to? Was there a heavenly tribulation at this time? Li Xuanxian, the great guardian, and the other experts were stunned in the sky. Chapter 2985. They knew that a normal breakthrough would not trigger a heavenly tribulation, unless it was a critical breakthrough, such as a supremacy entering the king realm or a king entering the sage realm. Perhaps such a breakthrough would happen. However, a breakthrough within the king realm would not trigger a heavenly tribulation. Of course, there were exceptions, and that was the monstrous geniuses. Peerless geniuses, top monstrous geniuses, were too powerful and broke the laws of the world. Therefore, their breakthrough would usually trigger a heavenly tribulation. The heavenly tribulation above was extremely terrifying. It lasted for about half a day before it slowly disappeared. Lin Xian landed. Palace Master, are you all right? Li Xuanxian, the great guardian, and the other elders all flew over. Below, Peacock and the others were also watching nervously. After all, the lightning above was too terrifying. It made their hearts skip a beat. The faces of the kings changed drastically. They could not withstand such violent lightning. However, when they arrived above and saw Lin Xian, they were extremely shocked. Lin Xian did not have any injuries on his body. The 9-yang divine body shone so brightly that everyone could not open their eyes. The divine fire on it flickered, making their hearts beat wildly. Li Xuanxian, the great guardian, and the others were stunned at first. When they sensed Lin Xian's aura, they were stunned. Palace Master, you? Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. That's right, I'm already an invincible king. He was too happy. The red pill that he swallowed previously allowed him to break through from an 8-star king to a 9-star king. Now he had reached the last stage of the king realm, the invincible king. This made Lin Xian wild with joy. He was one step closer to the sage realm. The others were extremely shocked because Lin Xian's real age was not old. In fact, it could be said that he was very young. There were not many invincible kings at this age in history. It would definitely shock the world if word got out. They did not dare to imagine Lin Xian's combat strength. Previously, when Lin Xian was an invincible king, he could easily kill an invincible king. Now that he was an invincible king, wouldn't his strength be heaven-defying? Perhaps ordinary invincible kings would not be a threat to him at all. Boom, boom. Everyone wanted to ask more questions, but Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and looked down. Star Palace. A few silhouettes rushed out from inside and directly rushed into the clouds. The lightning tribulation that had disappeared from the sky appeared once again. And this time, it was even more terrifying. What was going on? Could it be that someone else was undergoing tribulation? They looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was invincible. If it wasn't him, then who was it? Could it be? Sure enough, it was the Crimson Dragon, Morong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and even the Snow White Monkey. The 4 of them soared into the sky and entered the lightning. After another half a day, all 4 of them landed. Ha ha! The Crimson Dragon laughed wildly. He had also broken through to the invincible king realm. The dragon blood in his body surged, emitting a peerless aura. He was like a divine dragon, making people look up to him. Hum, hum, hum. The Snow White Monkey didn't change much, but its fur became smoother. It blinked its large eyes and came to Lin Xian's shoulder. It jumped around happily. Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu also flew down. Brother Xian, Brother Lin Xian. They came to Lin Xian's side and were very happy because they had also broken through to the invincible king realm. It had to be said that the treasures obtained from the void divine furnace were too shocking and heaven-defying. It allowed everyone to break through. Now, other than the Snow White little Marquis whose realm was unknown, Lin Xian and the other 3 had all broken through to the invincible king realm. 4 invincible kings, and all of them had experienced the heavenly tribulation. Li Xuanxian, the great guardian, and the others were dumbfounded. The elders were even more dumbfounded. They could be considered experienced and knowledgeable peerless experts, but this was the first time they had seen so many monsters transcending the tribulation together. This was truly a golden age. There were many geniuses and monsters. This time, the path of the great emperor would be even more difficult. Li Xuanxian sighed. The great guardian came back to his senses and told Lin Xian everything that had happened in the past few days. Lin Xian sneered after hearing this. This Wamuzhen really didn't know what was good for him. He actually dared to spread rumors that he had died in Sky Flame City. Let's go and meet him. Lin Xian waved his hand, and led the Crimson Dragon, Murong Qingcheng, Shenjingqiu, and the snow-white little monkey out of the immortal palace. Before he broke through to the invincible king realm, he was already able to compete with those people. Now that he had broken through, his strength had increased greatly. Those people were no longer his match. According to the information provided by the great guardian, Lin Xian and the others quickly flew into the distance. While Lin Xian and the others were looking for Huomuzhen, some heavenly tribulations also descended in other places. Yi family, the golden lightning descended, as if it was going to destroy the world, causing the elders and disciples of the Yi family to tremble. The Yi family patriarch's eyes flickered. Was he finally going to transcend the tribulation? And it was the golden lightning. This lightning was too terrifying. It could easily kill an ordinary invincible king. Would Wu Dao be able to withstand it? According to some of the ancestors and saints in the family, the path of the great emperor was about to open. If Wu Dao could break through to the invincible king realm before it opened, it would definitely be a great thing. Half a day later, Yi Wu Dao came out. Her sacred blood was surging, and her sacred body was like the sun. Furthermore, the aura emitted from her body astonished those elders. Invincible king realm. Their sacred bodies had finally broken through to the invincible king realm. On the other side, the Alcade Saint, Wuchen, and some other powerful young geniuses were all transcending the tribulation to break through to the invincible king realm. Those sacred leaders and sect masters knew that a golden age was about to descend. In the sky, a few streams of light streaked across. They were extremely powerful. They brought with them invisible waves of air that surged in all directions. Who was it? So powerful. When they passed by some cities, many people exclaimed. The older generation raised their heads and used their eye techniques to observe. They were scared out of their wits. That kid came out. Wasn't he dead? What kind of person was an elder? Why was he so arrogant? Grandpa, what did you see? Those young disciples asked. It was Lin Xian. Lin Xian came out. What? Lin Xian? Are you talking about that dead kid? Those young disciples were dumbfounded. Lin Xian and the others passed by domineeringly. They did not take the black earth, but flew directly in the air, bringing with them powerful air waves. After all, Lin Xian came out this time to dispel the rumors. He wanted to prove to everyone that he did not die in Skyfire City. Therefore, he naturally had to be more domineering. As expected, when they passed by the cities, the experts in the cities all checked and were scared out of their wits. News spread out from these cities. Lin Xian was not dead. Lin Xian had appeared. Golden Universe City. At this moment, the city was excited. They received news from their friends, fellow disciples, and even their families. They screamed, Lin Xian was not dead. Heavens, someone saw Lin Xian come out. He had already flown past a good city. Everyone screamed, and the news quickly spread to every corner of the city. Chapter 2986. There was a magnificent hall in the city, and no one dared to enter it. That was where the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto were. At that moment, the prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto rushed in. 7th generation. This is bad. He rushed in. Inside the hall, Huomuzhen opened his eyes and frowned. What's the matter? Why are you so flustered? Lin Xian came out. Many people saw him. What did you say? Huomuzhen suddenly stood up. The flames on his body surged into the sky, piercing through the void. That kid came out? Damn it, he's still alive. Huomuzhen burst out with a piercing cold light. Where is he? Bring me there. His figure flashed, and he left the hall. The other prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto also followed. This kid is actually alive. Could it be that he's related to the Void Divine Furnace? He must have contacted a super sage and stolen the Void Divine Furnace. Kill him. No, capture him, and bring him back to the Fire Qilin Grotto. We must make him hand over the void divine furnace. We must tear this kid into pieces." The prodigies were driven mad. Huamuzhen was even more murderous as he took the lead. After coming out, his gaze swept across the surroundings. With a suction force from his palm, 7 or 8 human warriors were instantly sucked in front of him. "What are you trying to do?" The warriors of the human race were trembling in fear. Huamuzhen was extremely powerful. He was the 7th generation. It was said that his ancient power was at 50,000. It was very easy for such a person to kill an invincible king, let alone them. Huamuzhen did not waste any time and directly collected their souls. Immediately, the bodies of these human warriors exploded. Their souls were distorted and dissipated in midair. Huamuzhen did not care about this. He retracted his palm and burned the corpses to ashes. The next moment, a sinister smile appeared on his face. "Kid, you can't escape." Boom! He soared into the sky and tore through the void. Behind him, countless prodigies of the Fire Qilin Grotto followed. The other warriors in the city trembled. The other party's methods were too powerful. Even the invincible king's faces turned pale. "Damn it, this demon is finally gone." Many young warriors lay on the ground, their clothes drenched in cold sweat. However, the invincible kings and the older generation experts had solemn expressions. He was searching her soul. What was he searching for? Damn it, he was collecting information on Lin Xian. Could it be that he was going to attack Lin Xian? "Let's go, let's follow them and take a look." These people soared into the air, and at the same time, they quickly sent messages to their friends, fellow disciples, and family clans. After all, the 7th generation, Lord of the Fire Qilin Cave, wanted to make a move against Lin Xian. This was a world-shaking event. The last time such a shocking battle occurred was when Lin Xian fought against the 10th generation Bai Qianshan. At that time, Bai Qianshan was only a 10th generation Bai Qianshan. The heavens chosen from the human clan were so oppressive that they could hardly breathe. Now, the 7th generation of the Fire Qilin Cave had appeared. This was a terrifying existence that was many times more terrifying than Bai Qianshan. If such a person wanted to target Lin Xian, would Lin Xian still be able to survive? These people didn't know. They began to worry about Lin Xian. This Lin Xian shouldn't have appeared. They didn't expect that he would be hunted down by a top heavens chosen from the Archean era. It would be difficult for him to resist. That was for sure. Lin Xian had killed Bai Qianshan a few months ago. At that time, he had won with great difficulty. Bai Qianshan had 38,000 units of Archean era power, while Lin Xian only had 40,000 units at most. However, Huamuzhen had a conservative estimate of 50,000 units of Archean era power. There was a difference of 10,000 units of Archean era power between the two sides. This was a gap between heaven and earth. Huamuzhen could probably kill Lin Xian easily. Damn it, was the Fire Qilin Caves chosen so powerful? Were the 10,000 ancient races so terrifying? Could it be that the human clan really couldn't resist them? After all, they were the descendants of the great emperors. Moreover, they had been passed down since ancient times. Sighs and shakes of heads could be heard. They sped up and quickly followed. At this moment, the cultivators in the other cities also received the news. Many people soared into the sky to witness this battle. It was even more so for the 10,000 ancient races. Among them, the nest of 10,000 dragons, the Fire Dragon King and Feng Yinxue, also received the news. It was the same for the Battle Tribe and the Heavenly Human Tribe. In an instant, these Archean eras chosen moved out one after another. The Fire Dragon King, Feng Yinxue, Zhan Wushuang, and the others arrived in a domineering manner. They would definitely not allow the Fire Qilin Cave to go to Lin Xian alone. Lin Xian might very well have the secret of the Void Divine Furnace. so they naturally wanted to share the profits. This kid's strength is about the same as mine, but if we are serious and use our trump cards, we can definitely kill this kid. Moreover, if we join forces this time, that kid won't be able to escape. The Fire Dragon King, Feng Yinxue, and the others discussed. On the other side, Zhan Wushuang's face was gloomy as he gritted his teeth. I must take revenge. Last time, he lost to Lin Xian due to carelessness. This time, he would use his ultimate trump card to kill his opponent. The mountains were like dragons, majestic and spectacular. In the sky, Lin Xian and the others were flying rapidly. Suddenly, he frowned and waved his hand to stop. What's wrong, big brother Lin Xian? Shun Jingqiu, Morong Qingcheng, and the others were puzzled. The crimson dragon waved its claws. Damn it, no one is coming, right? That's right, they didn't expect to come so quickly. Lin Xian nodded. It seemed like these people had been paying attention to him all along. Great. Is it those people from the Fire Qilin cave? Great. Ben Huang can't help but want to make a move. The crimson dragon grinned. He had already broken through to the invincible king realm, and his strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. Not to mention him, Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu were also the same. Lin Xian was even more terrifying. This kid's primordial power was probably so terrifying that it was unbelievable. Sure enough, Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu were also eager to give it a try. Then he would wait for them here. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back, his expression calm. Not long after, a powerful energy fluctuation came from the front, and monstrous waves of fire surged over. In fact, there were even terrifying roars. Countless monsters prostrated themselves on the ground below. A large area of the forest trembled, and large cracks appeared in the void and the ground. What a terrifying scene! If it were before, Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu would definitely be moved, and their expressions would change drastically. But now they were also incomparably calm because their strength had greatly increased. Lin Xian looked at the scene calmly. He was expressionless. At the same time, he sensed that there were countless auras flying over not only in front of him, but also in all directions. They should be other people. Sure enough, countless figures appeared in the surroundings. They did not dare to approach and could only watch from afar. However, with their strength, they could see clearly even from tens of thousands of miles away. If a great battle broke out, they could even use the array formation and retreat 1,000,000 miles away to watch the battle. However, in their opinion, the array formation was not needed at all. That was because Lin Xian and the others were no match for Huomuzhen. In fact, they could not even withstand a single move from Huomuzhen. Was that really Lin Xian? The surrounding people looked at Lin Xian and discussed animatedly. Chapter 2987. Even the dragon beside him was there, as well as Saint Lady Zixia and the Jade Lake Saint. Everyone exclaimed. This time, these two peerless beauties would probably suffer together with this kid. Who would have thought that the top genius of the human race would be hunted down by the 7th-generation lord? Perhaps Saint Lady Zixia and the Jade Lake Saint would not have thought of that. This was fate. In this era, one must not provoke the 10,000 Archean races, especially the 3 Archean royal families. They were supreme existences. Even the clan of the ancients did not dare to provoke them easily. Everyone shook their heads and sighed. They thought that Lin Xian would not be able to escape today. Huomuzhen and the others appeared in front of him. They stared at Lin Xian. Kid, it's really you. Huomuzhen's expression was ferocious, and the Fire Qilin Cave's geniuses behind him laughed arrogantly. Ha ha ha, kid, I didn't expect you to really appear. You're still alive. The heavens are really helping me. Kneel down obediently and tell me, did you steal the void divine furnace with the saints? Angry roars sounded one after another. When the others heard this, they were extremely shocked. Void divine furnace, what was that? From the looks of it, Lin Xian seemed to have obtained something incredible in Skyfire City. No wonder the Fire Qilin Cave's geniuses were chasing after him. Kid, tell me obediently, where is the void divine path? Hand it over obediently. I can consider giving you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. And the dragon beside you, as well as these two women, none of them will live. If I tell you the whereabouts of the void divine furnace, you'll give me a quick death? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and asked indifferently, That's right, kid. As long as you hand it over obediently, I promise to give you a quick death. I can even consider letting the two women beside you go. Huomuzhen revealed a sinister smile. In his opinion, the other party must be afraid. In fact, thinking about it, the Fire Qilin Cave was so powerful, no matter how strong the other party was. How could the Immortal Palace contend against them? If you tell me, I can protect your life and spare your life. At this moment, another cold voice came from the sky, followed by countless dragon roars. The people from the nest of 10,000 dragons had arrived. Huomuzhen's face turned gloomy. Damn it, these guys just won't leave. The Fire Dragon King landed and stared at Lin Xian. Brat, I guarantee that you will not die. You're actually here too? Today is really a good day. On the other side, a delicate laugh sounded. The void around Murong Qingqing shattered as he was enveloped by a powerful force. The crowd was in an uproar and trembled. How could someone target Murong Qingqing? Lin Xian frowned. It seemed that the people from Divine Phoenix Ridge had arrived. As expected, Feng Yingxue led the people of the Divine Phoenix Ridge and arrived in an imposing manner. Feng Yingxue stared at Murong Qingqing with her beautiful eyes. Her body could not help but tremble. That was a sign of excitement. Murong Qingqing's little face was cold. She snorted coldly. An endless multicolored light blossomed from her body, forming an illusion of a phoenix to block the restrictive power. Stop struggling. You can't escape from my grasp. I must take you away today. Brat, I didn't expect you to still be alive. This time, I will kill you with my own hands. Another powerful aura descended, causing one scalp to tingle. Zhan Wushuang, the #1 genius of the war tribe. He actually came out too. Everyone was terrified. They knew that Zhan Wushuang and Lin Xian were enemies. It seemed that this time, Zhan Wushuang was going to make a move. Lin Xian glanced at him and shook his head slightly. Loser! You're not worthy to be my opponent. What? Loser? Everyone was stunned. Heavens! This Lin Xian really dared to say that. That's right. How terrifying is Zhan Wushuang? He should be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Fire Dragon King and the 7th generation Lord. But this Lin Xian actually said that he's a loser? Is he dreaming? The experts of the older generation were also in disbelief. Zhan Wushuang's face darkened. Brat, don't be arrogant. I was careless last time. That's why you succeeded. This time, I will definitely not lose to you. As he spoke, an extremely terrifying power erupted from his body. A domineering aura burst out. When these words entered the ears of the others, it was like a clap of thunder. Zhan Wushuang was really defeated by Lin Xian. How strong is this brat? As expected of the Central Emperor, he's really too strong. Has he already displayed such strength? If he becomes a sage, he'll definitely be heaven-defying. Don't say that. Don't forget how terrifying the great success divine body was back then, that was able to defeat the 10,000 Archean tribes. Everyone recalled the scene when Lin Xian entered the great success divine body and fought against the 10,000 Archean tribes alone. Just thinking about it made them excited. A bunch of trash. What great success divine body. It's so difficult to attain a great success divine body. How could this brat succeed? Even if he has the 9 yang divine body, he's still trash if he can't grow. King Zhan Wushuang looked around, his gaze piercing through the void. The surrounding experts were so frightened that they trembled. Even the invincible kings felt their scalps tingle. They didn't dare to speak anymore. Seeing that Zhan Wushuang and Feng Yingxue were about to make a move, Huomuzhen shouted coldly, "Stop! Fire Qilin Cave will handle this." He stood out directly, his body emitting a cold aura. "Brat, I'll give you one last chance. Obediently accept your death, or be captured by me and tortured until you wish you were dead." Lin Xian was an important witness. He wouldn't let such a person fall into the hands of the divine Phoenix Ridge, or the nest of 10,000 dragons. He had to make the first move. Lin Xian looked at him and grinned with a trace of disdain in his eyes. "Damn you, what are you laughing at?" Huomuzhen's face immediately darkened. "How dare you laugh at me when I'm about to die?" Lin Xian said with a smile, "I'm thinking whether Qilin meat tastes good or not. I haven't tasted it yet. You're courting death." Huomuzhen was instantly enraged. "You want to eat my meat? You're courting death. Brat, don't think that you can show off in front of me just because you can defeat Zhan Wushuang. Let me tell you, my strength has surpassed Zhan Wushuang. It's very easy to kill you." Hearing this, Zhan Wushuang snorted coldly, extremely unhappy. The kings of the human race trembled. Indeed, Huomuzhen had such strength that he could look down on Lin Xian. Buzz. Qilin finger. Huomuzhen put one hand behind his back and extended the other. On the tip of his finger, endless runes condensed to form a Qilin. Accompanying his finger, it pointed forward. "I can kill you with one finger." Qilin finger, the Qilin cave's great ability, was extremely terrifying. With one finger, the heavens and earth would collapse, and the sun and moon would lose their light. The martial artists who were watching the battle trembled, and many of them knelt down. It was too terrifying. It could easily kill an invincible king. I wonder if that Lin Xian can block it? He probably can't block it. Only by dodging can he survive. Kill me with one finger? You're really arrogant. Lin Xian smiled with a trace of coldness in his eyes. Chapter 2988. He was no longer the same person he was a few months ago. His strength had undergone an earth-shattering change. Since the other party was so arrogant and courting death, he would fulfill his wish. A piercing cold light burst out from his eyes as endless flames condensed at his fingertips and turned into a sword chi that shot into the sky. The sword chi was sharp and oppressive as it tore through the void with a terrifying dragon's soul aura. Boom, boom, boom. In the sky, the Qilin phantom was split apart by the sword, and the flames in the sky were extinguished by the sword chi. The terrifying sword Dao aura blew on Huomuzhen's body, causing his entire body to turn cold. Damn it, this was impossible. Huomuzhen's pupils constricted. How could the other party's sword chi be so powerful? How could it break his Qilin finger? He could not believe it. However, while he was in a daze, the sword slashed directly on his body. Splat. Blood splattered out. Bang, bang, bang. Huomuzhen flew out 30,000 miles before stopping. There was a sword mark on his body that had almost split his body apart. Even his internal organs could be seen. If not for the fact that Huomuzhen was the Fire Spirit Grotto's sky pride and had a strong physique, he reckoned that this sword strike would be able to split him in half. How was this possible? Huomuzhen's eyes widened in disbelief. Previously, the other party could only contend with Zhan Wushuang, but his strength was completely above Zhan Wushuang's. It would be very easy for him to kill the other party. That was why he dared to crush the other party with one finger. But now, the other party's casual sword light had broken his Qilin finger. Not only that, but he had also injured him. Could it be that the other party had hidden his strength when he was fighting with Zhan Wushuang? But that was impossible. He could not believe it. For a moment, he was stunned. Not only him, but everyone around was also stunned. The sky prides of the Fire Qilin Grotto widened their eyes, as if they had seen a ghost. The Fire Dragon King and Feng Yinshue's pupils constricted. Zhan Wushuang's body trembled, and his heart was filled with shock. This was impossible, he screamed. The surrounding humans and 10,000 Archean race spectators were all stunned. Lin Xian had injured Huomuzhen with one sword strike. What kind of joke was this? This is your strength? You want to kill me with this kind of strength? You want me to live a life worse than death? Isn't this a little too laughable? Lin Xian withdrew his sword radiance and said indifferently, "Damn brat, you're courting death." Huomuzhen roared and charged forward. His speed was extremely fast, and the flames on his body were monstrous. He was angry, really angry. He would never let the other party off. Wang. Above his head, the bronze pagoda appeared. Its aura was majestic, and it transformed into countless runes that formed a divine chain that swept towards Lin Xian. Should we use our weapons? Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he drew his Fire Qilin sword and slashed out. Boom, boom. As soon as the sword light appeared, countless divine chains were immediately shattered. However, this bronze pagoda was not ordinary. The runes on it were carved by a saint. At this moment, as it flickered, it truly possessed earth-shattering energy. Although many of the divine runic chains were broken, even more of them flew out and completely enveloped Lin Xian. Let's see how you're going to dodge this time. Huomuzhen sneered when he saw that it had enveloped Lin Xian. Those from the Fire Qilin cave heaved a sigh of relief. They knew it. How could Lin Xian defeat their seventh-generation lord? The seventh-generation lord must have underestimated Lin Xian. The Fire Dragon King, Feng Yinxue, Zhan Wushuang, and the surrounding experts of the immemorial celestial race looked solemn. Was the previous attack careless? Or was it a coincidence? Or was Lin Xian too powerful? They should be able to find out soon. Do you think you can trap me? Lin Xian was imprisoned in the void, but he was not afraid at all. He was not worried at all. Kid, don't be so arrogant. The power of my bronze pagoda is not something you can imagine. I'll show you what it's like next. Huomuzhen sneered and formed a seal with his palms, channeling those mysterious runes. Turn into ashes. Those runes erupted with unparalleled power, and countless Qilin shadows flickered. A terrifying flame burst out and enveloped Lin Xian, wanting to burn him to ashes. This was a flame carved by a saint. It was absolutely terrifying. Is that so? Then I really want to see it. Lin Xian sneered. Light bloomed from his body, and endless divine flames danced. Along with the great dragon sword soul, it turned into sword qi and rushed into the sky. At this moment, he was like a sun, blooming with thousands of rays of light. Boom, boom. All of the runic flames were torn apart, and the cage was torn apart. It was completely shattered. How was this possible? The people from the Fire Qilin cave were stunned, and Huomuzhen was even more dumbstruck. The surrounding people were all terrified. What kind of sword technique was this? It was too powerful. Feng Yinxue, the Fire Dragon King, and Zhan Wushuang were all stunned. Lin Xian was very powerful, and he punched the fragments. Lin Xian walked out forcefully. Your attack is really not that good. Next, I'll show you my sword technique. Accompanying his voice, the sword qi on his body was like a rainbow rushing into the sky and illuminating a radius of 1,000,000 miles. Everyone trembled under the sword light. The invincible kings were even more horrified, and many of the archaic creatures knelt on the ground. Damn it, this aura! Feng Yinxue and the Fire Dragon King's expressions finally changed. Huomuzhen screamed, "An invincible king! You actually broke through and became an invincible king." They were stunned. Zhang Wushuang's pupils constricted. How was this possible? The other party had broken through. When he fought with the other party previously, although the other party was powerful, he was only an 8-star king. It had only been a few months, and the other party had broken through and become an invincible king. This was too unbelievable. When the others heard this, they screamed in surprise. An invincible king. Heavens, this kid broke through and became an invincible king. His real age was very young. An invincible king, who was dozens of years old. Was this kid going to defy the heavens? These people were crazy. This was definitely a monster. Damn it, impossible. You must have obtained the void divine furnace. I'm going to kill you. Huomuzhen screamed, crazily. The bloodline power in his body surged, burning fiercely with the flames on his body. The green pagoda above his head received the power of the bloodline power, and its power instantly increased, sweeping in all directions. So, what if you're an invincible king? I've been an invincible king for a long time, with my blood running through your veins. You can go to hell. Huomuzhen roared, crazily. The other party's strength and talent were indeed beyond his imagination. Therefore, he planned to destroy the other party's physical body and take away the other party's soul. He would not give the other party a chance to grow. Just as Huomuzhen made his move, Feng Yingxue also yelled and attacked Morong Qingcheng unexpectedly. She knew that she had to attack. Otherwise, when Lin Xian was free, she would not be able to attack Morong Qingcheng. The shadow of a phoenix turned into a divine light and enveloped Morong Qingcheng. Chapter 2989. Morong Qingcheng shouted. Instead of dodging, she charged forward. She was now an invincible king, and her strength had increased greatly. The 5-colored phoenix bloodline in her body had become more powerful than before. Therefore, she was not afraid even when facing a powerful 9th-generation genius like Feng Yingxue. Hee, I'll play with you. The Crimson Dragon stared at the Fire Dragon King and revealed a sinister smile. He had been itching to attack for a long time. The Fire Dragon King snorted coldly. You're no match for me. I'll capture you and take your soul. I'll see what kind of dragon you are. 2 more battles broke out, sweeping across millions of miles, scaring everyone into retreating frantically. Many experts watched from a distance using arrays. Huomuzhen revealed a sinister smile. Your woman has been captured by the people of Divine Phoenix Ridge. Aren't you worried at all? He was too happy. Feng Yingxue was now facing Morong Qingcheng, and he could definitely affect the kid in front of him. As long as the kid was distracted, he would have a chance to kill him. However, he was disappointed. Lin Xian did not care at all. My woman isn't that easy to capture. Now, you'd better think about your own safety, because you've completely angered me. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with a piercing cold light. The dragon sword soul roared, and a terrifying aura erupted again. How dare you underestimate me? Huomuzhen roared. After using the power of his bloodline, his strength was extremely powerful. He activated the bronze pagoda and flew out, wanting to kill Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved the fire Qilin sword and activated the dragon sword soul, multiplying its power. He sent the bronze pagoda flying with one slash. Buzz! He clenched his left hand into a golden crow and punched out. The void exploded, and Huomuzhen was sent flying. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood, and countless cracks appeared on his body. Impossible! He screamed crazily. How could his opponent be so powerful? He had completely suppressed him. Seeing this scene, the surrounding people widened their eyes in disbelief. The people of Fire Qilin Cave screamed. Their 7th-generation master was injured. His body was shattered by his opponent. Heavens! This was a fact that they dared not accept even in their dreams. Their lord of the 7th generation was so powerful that he was invincible among the human race. But now he was actually injured by an ant in their eyes. This was unacceptable to them. Damn it, how could this brat be so strong? Zhan Wushuang's body started to tremble, and his face was filled with shock. Previously, when he came, he still wanted to take revenge. But now he hesitated, because he realized that the other party had become very strong, unbelievably strong. He knew how powerful Humujin was. Even he didn't have the confidence to win against him. But now he had easily injured Humujin. He didn't dare to imagine what would happen if he were to be beaten by such strength. However, this shouldn't be the case. The last time he had fought with him was a few months ago. Although the other party had defeated him, he could tell that the other party had used his full strength. How could the other party's strength increase so quickly? What had she experienced in the past few months? Damn it, he didn't believe that someone could undergo such a tremendous change in strength in such a short period of time, unless he had obtained a heaven-defying opportunity. However, he had always been with the other party in Sky Flame City. In that mysterious cave, he had only obtained 1/6 of the Sky Flame. The other party didn't seem to have obtained anything. Wait, no, the other party had mysteriously disappeared. The Void Divine Furnace had also mysteriously disappeared. Could it be that the other party had really obtained the Void Divine Furnace? Thinking of this, Zhan Wushuang's scalp went numb and his eyes turned red. Yen Nantian had once forcefully opened the Void Divine Furnace, although they didn't see how many treasures were inside. However, when a red elixir floated up, it caused all of them to cry out in surprise. One could imagine how many treasures there were in the Void Divine Furnace. If the other party had obtained it, perhaps his strength would really undergo an earth-shattering change. Thinking of this, his face turned gloomy. It seemed that he had to make a move. With a whoosh, he turned into a bolt of lightning and instantly charged toward Lin Xian. In an instant, he was behind Lin Xian. With a sinister smile, Zhan Wushuang pulled out a battle sword and directly slashed toward Lin Xian's head. The sword light flashed and emitted a terrifying aura. Oh no, it was a sneak attack. The surrounding people screamed in horror. Even the 10,000 Archean race was stunned. Then they laughed sinisterly. It seemed that this kid had offended a lot of people. Who would have thought that even Zhan Wushuang would launch a sneak attack? Hee, so what? This kid is dead meat. Damn it. So despicable. The #1 genius of the Ward tribe actually launched a sneak attack. Lin Xian's supporters roared crazily. Zhan Wushuang's face turned gloomy. The other party was too powerful. He had to kill the other party at all costs and obtain the secret of the Void Divine Furnace. Humph! Lin Xian's eyelids twitched. He naturally felt the peerless killing intent coming from behind him. When he felt that Zhan Wushuang had secretly attacked him, his face turned gloomy and he snorted coldly. The 9 suns' divine fire on his body flickered and exploded in all directions. It turned into streaks of sword light that were like heavenly swords that drowned the entire space. Clang! The peerless sword light blocked Zhan Wushuang's battle sword and let out an earth-shattering sound. Zhan Wushuang was extremely shocked. The other party did not move. Just the sword chi that was emitted from his body had such terrifying power. Even his arm was numb. This made the killing intent in his heart even more intense. Kid, I admit that you're very strong, but you can go to hell, Zhan Wushuang sneered. On the battle sword, mysterious and terrifying runes burst out and swept across heaven and earth. Lin Xian turned around and shouted coldly, "You think you can kill me with your trash abilities? Trash who launched a sneak attack. Go to hell," he shouted coldly and pulled out the Fire Qilin sword. The dragon sword soul in his body roared crazily. With a slash of the sword, Zhan Wushuang was sent flying with a bang. The arm that was holding the battle sword was torn into pieces and exploded into a mist of blood. Ah, Zhan Wushuang screamed crazily. His black hair danced wildly, and his eyes shot out terrifying rays of light. Shocking! He could not believe that the other party had seriously injured him with a single attack. What kind of power was that? Huomuzhen, attack together and take him down. Zhan Wushuang's arm reassembled and held the battle sword again. He roared crazily. On the other side, the cracks on Huomuzhen's body were quickly healing as his bloodline power burst out. Although 2 against 1 was despicable in his eyes, he had no other choice now. His opponent's strength was far beyond his. If they did not join forces, he would be killed. This kid must have the secret of the Great Void Divine Furnace. Perhaps he had eaten the elixir from the Great Void Divine Furnace. That was why his strength had such a shocking change. We must capture him and find out the whereabouts of the Great Void Divine Furnace. Zhan Wushuang's voice was cold. On the other side, Huomuzhen's body was covered in flames. With a sinister smile, the two of them were ready to attack together. Chapter 2990. The Fire Dragon King and Feng Yunxue roared. They would not let the two of them succeed. However, the two of them could not leave at all. The Crimson Dragon was entangled with the Fire Dragon King. On the other side, Feng Yunxue was even more shocked. She realized that she could not take down Murong Qingcheng in a short period of time. This really surprised her. Murong Qingcheng, the saintess of the Jade Lake's sacred ground, was also a genius of the human race. However, in her eyes, she was just an ant. Although the other party had the 5-color Phoenix bloodline, he did not know how to use it at all. He only knew how to use brute force and did not have any cultivation techniques at all. Such a bloodline would be a waste in the other party's hands. The other party had at most 30,000 Archean power, but she had 50,000. If she wanted to kill him, she could do it in one move. However, she could not do anything to him after hundreds of moves. Damn it! How did the other party's strength undergo such a huge change? She did not dare to imagine. In front, Lin Xian looked at Huomuzhen and Zhan Wushuang, still not afraid. He said coldly, "Are the two of you really going to join forces to kill me? I'll give you a chance. Get lost, or don't blame me for being merciless." "You want us to get lost? Ha ha ha, kid. Who do you think you are? I admit that you've become very strong. We might not be your match in a one-on-one fight, but if we join forces, you won't be able to resist at all." Huomuzhen's face was hideous, and Zhan Wushuang's face was cold. "Hand over the Void Divine Furnace obediently, or I'll tear you into pieces. Since you don't know what's good for you, don't blame me for being merciless." Lin Xian's voice was sonorous, and the aura on his body erupted, transforming into divine swords that shook heaven and earth. At this moment, Lin Xian's aura made everyone's expression change. Countless Archean creatures prostrated on the ground. "You're courting death," Huomuzhen shouted coldly and pulled out a flag. The Qilin flag moved in the air, and the wind and clouds changed. "Kill." Zhan Wushuang held his battle sword with murderous intent. When the two of them joined forces, their power was terrifying to the extreme. He waved the blazing Qilin sword in his hand, which transformed into a flaming sword radiance that descended from the sky. It was as if 100,000 flaming mountains were crashing down. With a loud bang, the Qilin phantoms that filled the sky were blown away. At the same time, he waved his fist and used the Nine Suns' divine fist to attack behind him, causing the battle sword to tremble. The three of them exchanged more than 50 moves in an instant. The heavens and earth within a radius of 1,000,000 li crumbled, as if the world was about to be destroyed. Everyone left. Damn it, this brat is actually so terrifying. Huomuzhen's face darkened. He realized that even with the two of them working together, they were still unable to take down the other party. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood, staining the Chilean flag. Wung! The banner was surrounded by a boundless blood-red light, burning and releasing an even more terrifying baleful aura. The Kirin flag transformed into a blood Kirin in the air. It roared ferociously and charged forward. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. This was a powerful killing move. It was extremely terrifying, capable of destroying heaven and earth. Behind him, Zhan Wushuang let out a long cry. His bloodline power was also activated. Dazzling runes burst out from the sword in his hand. They turned into streaks of divine light that slashed forward. He slashed out 81 times in a row. The 81 streaks of sword qi formed a sea of sword qi that engulfed Lin Xian. The two killing moves erupted at the same time. For a moment, Lin Xian was in a dangerous situation. Oh no, that brat is finished. He won't be destroyed, right? In the distance, thousands of miles away, the cultivators who were watching through the formation screamed in horror. The people from the 10,000 Archean races sneered. Who does he think he is? Can he really defy the heavens? Today is the day he dies. With a loud bang, the energy in front of them exploded, and everything within a radius of 1,000,000 li was turned into nothingness. The terrifying fissures danced like wild dragons. Ha ha ha! Brat, let's see how you'll die. Hua Muzhen and Zhan Wushuang looked ferocious. What? In the next moment, their expressions changed because a palm reached out from the endless void and directly tore the void apart. Lin Xian's body bloomed with divine light as he walked out. Is this your attack? It's only SOL. His 9 sons' body emitted billions of rays of light, and the fire Qilin sword in his hand turned into a peerless dragon that swept in all directions. Damn it! Just how strong is his physique? Could it be that his 9 sons' divine body has become stronger again? These people were about to go crazy. Big brother Lin Xian, let me help you. In the distance, Shen Jingqiu could no longer watch. These two were too despicable. 2 against 1. Too despicable. Moreover, he had just broken through, so he naturally wanted to test his skills. Therefore, she quickly flew over. Holy Maiden Zixia! When the people in the distance saw this scene, they exclaimed. Although the other party was a human prodigy, he was still a little lacking compared to these top ancient prodigies. It wasn't just a little lacking. It was estimated to be 20,000 units of Archean power. A single glance from the other party would be enough to kill him. Everyone began to worry for Shen Jingqiu. Sure enough, Zhan Wushuang turned his head and stared at Shen Jingqiu with a sneer. You reckless fool! Go to hell for me! The battle sword swept out, transforming into a divine light that slashed out. He was already very unhappy because the two of them together could not defeat Lin Xian. Now that the woman beside Lin Xian had taken the initiative to court death, he naturally would not show mercy. Purple Qi from the east. Shen Jingqiu did not dodge at all. Instead, she let out a delicate shout, and countless purple Qi spread out from her body, transforming into 2 large purple palms. With a mysterious aura, they fiercely slapped forward. With a boom, the sword light was sent flying. At the same time, she used her extreme speed to arrive in front of Zhan Wushuang. Big baddie, I'll beat you up. With a bang, she sent Zhan Wushuang flying. Bang! Half of Zhan Wushuang's face was deformed, and his eyes turned into panda eyes that kept bleeding. After flying for tens of thousands of miles, he tore through the void and finally came to a stop. Ah, damn it, he screamed crazily. How could a little girl be so powerful? He did not dare to imagine. The humans and primordial creatures outside were all stunned. Heavens, what's going on? How could this holy daughter Zixia be so powerful? She can actually injure Zhan Wushuang with one punch. How did she do it? It's not just that. Didn't you see that Murong Qingcheng could also contend with Feng Yinxue? Screams of surprise rang out one after another. Indeed, no matter how strong Lin Xian had become, the woman and the dragon beside Lin Xian had become very terrifying. What have these people experienced? Void Divine Furnace. They must have obtained the Void Divine Furnace. Damn it, they ate the immortal pills in the Void Divine Furnace. Feng Yunxue screamed, crazily. The Fire Dragon King's face was also gloomy. Huomuzhen and Zhang Wushuang's faces were even uglier. They had to obtain the Void Divine Furnace. Big brother Lin Xian, I'll help you beat this big baddie. Shen Jingqiu stared at Zhang Wushuang. All right. Lin Xian revealed a smile. He stared at Zhang Wushuang. Huomuzhen, don't you like to win with numbers? Today, I'll let you have a taste of winning with numbers. Chapter 2991. As he said that, he pulled the snow-white monkey out of the black earth. Little White was very dissatisfied. He yawned as if he did not care about the battle there. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Help me beat him up, and I'll refine some supreme-grade spirit wine for you." Hearing that, the snow-white monkey became energetic. Apart from eating spirit fruits, the snow-white monkey liked to drink the spirit wine brewed by Lin Xian the most. The taste made him forget to leave. Oh, the snow-white monkey jumped out and waved his little claws. He looked at Huomuzhen with disdain. Huomuzhen was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn it! How dare a monkey be so arrogant in front of me? He waved the Qilin flag, which transformed into a blood-red murderous aura that swept towards the snow-white monkey. Die, you damned monkey! Any casual attack could easily kill King Invincible. However, the snow-white monkey bared his teeth and revealed a disdainful expression. His body instantly disappeared and appeared in front of Huomuzhen at extreme speed. Damn it, what speed! Huomuzhen's pupils constricted. He did not even see the other party clearly. How did the other party appear in front of him? There's something wrong with this monkey. Soon, he became disdainful. Kneel down in front of me. He used the power of his bloodline. He was a member of the royal family. Moreover, he was the 7th generation of the Qilin bloodline. The other party would definitely not be able to withstand that pressure. However, this time, he was disappointed again. The terrifying pressure made the creatures millions of miles away crawl on the ground. However, the snow-white monkey in front of him bared his teeth and was not affected at all. Damn it! How is that possible? Why doesn't my pressure have any effect on him? Is he a monkey or not? Huomuzhen was about to go crazy. However, in the next moment, he fainted. The snow-white monkey slapped him on the head, and Huomuzhen immediately saw stars. He felt that he was in a special state, as if he was drunk, and his body was out of control. Damn it! How can that damned monkey's divine power be so terrifying? Huomuzhen was shocked. In the next moment, he screamed in fear. That was because a sword light was flying toward him. A sword light streaked across the sky and enveloped him. With a slash, he was cut in half. This pain instantly made Huomuzhen recover. In the next moment, he screamed as if he had gone mad. The two shattered corpses quickly soared into the sky and fled into the distance. 7th generation Darren. Those prodigies of the Fire Qilin cave had all gone mad. The other party had actually killed their 7th generation lord with a single strike. They couldn't believe it. Huomuzhen's body was barely able to fuse together. His expression was extremely ugly. Damn it, how dare you hurt me? Hurt you? Today, I will kill you, Lin Xian shouted coldly. Together with the snow-white monkey, the two of them quickly killed their way over. That damnable brat was going too far. Just you wait, I won't let you off. Huomuzhen roared in a frenzy, but his heart was filled with fear. What was going on? The monkey beside the other party was too strange. It was not afraid of his bloodline pressure. Moreover, It could make him dizzy with a slap of its claws. How were they supposed to fight? If he were to receive another claw, he reckoned that the other party would be able to slash him in half again. Therefore, Hormuzhin decided to leave. He raised his head and looked into the distance. Although Zhang Wushuang was furious, he was actually on par with Shen Jingqiu. In addition, the Fire Dragon King and Feng Yinxue were both pinned down. He had no confidence in facing Lin Xian and the White Monkey alone. Therefore, in the next moment, he tore through the void, took the Qilin flag, and soared into the sky, wanting to escape. What? Hormuzhin escaped. Hormuzhin actually escaped. Heavens, how was that possible? The human warriors were all stunned. Hormuzhin was so powerful that they could not breathe under the pressure of 50,000 Archean powers. They could only tremble in front of him. But now, such a strong person had actually escaped. The prodigies of the Fire Qilin cave all fainted. They fell to the ground, their bodies trembling. Their seventh-generation lord had escaped. Did they still dare to stay here? In the next moment, they fled one after another. Lin Xian ignored those ordinary prodigies of the Fire Qilin cave. Instead, he locked onto Hormuzhin. The corners of his mouth curled up into a sneer. You want to escape? Can you escape? The other party was powerful and wanted to kill him. Now that he realized that he could not beat him, he wanted to escape? What a joke! He did not chase after him. Instead, his eyes shone with a cold light. In the next moment, he formed a seal with his palm. With a boom, an endless flame vortex condensed in the sky, transforming into a golden palm of flame that slapped down from the sky. The palm slapped Hormuzhin's body and sent him flying. With a bang, the endless void shattered. Hormuzhin was once again beaten until he vomited blood. He landed heavily on the ground, shattering hundreds of thousands of miles of land. What a terrifying divine ability! The spectators in the distance exclaimed. Zhang Wushuang, Fire Dragon King, and Feng Yingxue's eyelids twitched wildly. Ancient Chaos Hand? They remembered that move. It was Yan Nantian's divine ability. Could it be that Yan Nantian secretly killed Hormuzhin? Hormuzhin jumped up crazily. Damn Yan Nantian, how dare you trick me? However, after roaring for a long time, Yan Nantian did not appear at all. No, it's not Yan Nantian. It's you. You evolved it with the dragon sword soul. Hormuzhin was so angry that his entire body trembled. Do you think you can escape in front of me? Lin Xian sneered. Hormuzhin roared angrily. Damn brat, how dare you stop me? Don't think that you can kill me just because you can beat me. Let me tell you, you're too naive if you want to kill me. I don't want to fight you now. If you force me, I'll let you know the consequences of dying together with me. Hormuzhin was trembling with anger. Lin Xian sneered. Dying together with me? You think too highly of yourself. In front of me, you don't have the right to die together with me. He took a step forward, and the shadow of a dragon appeared under his feet. It carried him and rushed forward quickly. At the same time, the Fire Qilin sword in his hand swung wildly. In the sky, the golden hand appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Stop! Stop! Hormuzhin was being slaughtered like a chicken. His body shattered again. He was really scared. He screamed crazily. Damn it, stop. I don't want the void divine furnace anymore. You don't want the void divine furnace anymore? Do you think you have the right to want it? Lin Xian sneered. After fighting for a while, Hormuzhin screamed crazily. Stop, I was wrong. I apologize to you. I shouldn't have come to kill you. I'll compensate you with 2 half-step sacred artifacts. How about that? 3 half-step sacred artifacts? That's a big deal. Very well. I'll accept it. However, you still have to die. Lin Xian's voice was cold. He did not want to let Hormuzhin go. Damn brat, I'll fight it out with you. When Hormuzhin heard that, He was so angry that he vomited blood. He began to burn his bloodline power and rushed forward crazily. At this moment, he directly transformed into his Qilin form. He ran in all directions like a divine beast. It was too terrifying. The spectators a million miles away trembled. After Huomuzhen transformed into his true form, his strength became stronger again. Chapter 2992. Do you think you can fight me by burning your bloodline power? I only need one finger to kill you. With one hand behind his back, Lin Xian extended a finger with his other hand and pointed forward. It was a familiar scene. When Huomuzhen first arrived, he was so arrogant that he wanted to kill Lin Xian with one finger. Now Lin Xian was using the same method to kill him. It was the best counterattack. You're courting death. Who do you think you are? You want to kill me with one finger? Huomuzhen roared and rushed over. Lin Xian snorted, and the dragon sword soul flew out. It turned into an azure dragon on his fingertip and let out a loud dragon roar. Green Dragon Finger. It was a divine ability that he had developed by imitating the Qilin finger. With one finger, it was earth-shattering. It was equivalent to sending out the dragon sword soul. No, damn it. When Huomuzhen got closer, he realized how terrifying the finger was. His expression changed instantly and he stopped attacking. Instead, he ran away like a madman. At this moment, he burned his bloodline power with all his might. However, he fainted again with a bang. The snow-white monkey slapped him, causing him to be stunned in the void. Buzz! The green dragon finger pierced through his head. With a boom, Huomuzhen exploded like a watermelon. His soul screamed and tried to escape, but it was also destroyed by the finger. Boom! The headless Qilin corpse fell to the ground with an earth-shattering sound and dust. Everyone was stunned, and their minds went blank. He's dead. The terrifying sky pride of the Fire Qilin Cave, the seventh master, was killed. They could not believe it. The sky prides of the Fire Qilin Cave who were running away screamed crazily when they saw this scene. Seventh master. Many people rushed towards Lin Xian, but they were swept away by Lin Xian's sword. The others were scared out of their wits and knelt in the air. Zhan Wushuang, the Fire Dragon King, Feng Yinxue, and the others were also stunned. They quickly retreated with ugly expressions. Huomuzhen's death was unbelievable to them. One had to know that their strength was about the same, but if they really had to differentiate, Huomuzhen was obviously stronger than them. After all, the other party had the seventh-generation Qilin bloodline, which was extremely terrifying. What about now? His opponent was actually dead. He was killed by the brat in front of him. They would never have imagined such a scene, even in their dreams. After Lin Xian killed Huomuzhen, he stared at Zhan Wushuang. Instantly, Zhan Wushuang's body trembled. He tore open the void and fled without another word. Peng! Lin Xian was already prepared. The golden hand in the sky descended, shattering the void and blasting Zhan Wushuang out. Blood flowed from the corner of Zhan Wushuang's mouth. His expression was extremely ugly. He did not say anything because he only had one thought in his mind, and that was to escape. Even someone as strong as Huomuzhen had been killed. If he were to stay any longer, he would probably be killed as well. Therefore, he took out a scroll and wrapped it around his body. Brat, I'll kill you next time. Space-time teleportation scroll. Someone exclaimed. It was equivalent to a portable space teleportation array. The cost of making this kind of scroll was very high. Only the top clans could produce it. Trying to escape? Looking at Zhan Wushuang's body that was getting fainter, Lin Xian snorted coldly. A dragon-shaped sword shadow appeared in front of him. With a slash of the sword, it directly destroyed the power of space. With a bang, Zhan Wushuang fell out of the void. Half of his body was badly mutilated. Damn it, you can actually destroy the power of space. He screamed like a madman. In the distance, those people were also terrified. The great dragon sword soul was too terrifying. It could destroy everything. It could even destroy the illusory space teleportation. You tried to kill me time and time again because you wanted to use my name to climb up the ranks. Today, I'll end you, Lin Xian shouted coldly, and a sword light shot forward. No, Zhan Wushuang screamed crazily, but he was firmly locked in place. At the critical moment, a hazy shadow rushed out from between his eyebrows. It was a middle-aged man. Although it was just an illusion, the aura he exuded was extremely terrifying. He reached out a palm and directly grabbed the shocking sword. It was a soul imprint. A peerless expert from the war tribe was protecting Zhan Wushuang. Someone screamed. Lin Xian also frowned. Zhan Wushuang revealed a sinister smile. Hee kid, let's see how you kill me this time. Before he could finish, a purple sword pierced through his heart and froze his body in midair. How dare you bully Big Brother Lin Xian? I'll kill you. You big baddie. Damn it, you. Zhan Wushuang's body trembled, and his face became incomparably pale. He did not expect Shen Jingqiu to suddenly attack. He turned around with a sinister expression. I want you dead. He rushed forward like a madman. Shen Jingqiu shouted. Infinite purple lightning. She formed a seal with both hands and pressed forward. With a bang, Zhan Wushuang's head exploded. Elder, save me. Zhan Wushuang's soul escaped from his body and flew forward. The illusory middle-aged man turned his head and stared at Shen Jingqiu with a cold light in his eyes. Shen Jingqiu summoned a purple cloud to defend herself. Clang! She was forced back, and blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. How dare you destroy the war tribe's unparalleled body? You deserve to die. The hazy middle-aged man's eyes were extremely sharp. Lin Xian shouted coldly, a mere soul imprint. How dare you be so arrogant in front of me? I'll kill you today. He activated the great dragon sword soul and charged forward. You want to kill me with just you? The middle-aged man was disdainful, but in the next moment he screamed, because he realized that his soul imprint was burning. Damn it, what kind of sword chi is this? He screamed in horror. Old Zhang had the great dragon sword soul, and it could annihilate everything. Great dragon sword soul. The middle-aged man took a deep breath. He waved his hand and wrapped Zhan Wushuang's corpse, then carried it into the sky. He wanted to leave this place. Do you still think you can leave? In the sky, a golden hand slapped down, but it was blocked by the middle-aged man. At the same time, a pair of golden eyes appeared. They were like the eyes of a god, cold and indifferent. In his eyes, countless runes formed two mysterious patterns that transformed into sharp golden blades that slashed downwards. You want to hit me with a mere eye technique? The middle-aged man sneered. But in the next moment, he was pierced by a rune blade. Zhan Wushuang's soul was also pierced. Their souls quickly dissipated and turned into nothingness. Dead? Everyone was stunned. They did not expect that the soul imprint that came out from Zhan Wushuang's forehead would also be destroyed. What was that pair of golden eyes? Everyone trembled under the gaze of that pair of eyes. Lin Xian's face was a little pale. The attack just now was a rune pattern that he had obtained in the mysterious passage. Now that it appeared, it killed both Zhan Wushuang and the war tribe's soul imprint. Who else? Lin Xian looked around. Chapter 2993. Feng Yinxue and the Fire Dragon King turned around and fled without a word. They directly activated spatial teleportation and fled into the distance. Lin Xian did not make a move. He coldly watched this scene. Everyone prostrated themselves. Those ancient creatures also quickly retreated. Too powerful. Such a sure-kill situation was actually resolved by the other party, and he even killed Huomuzhen and Zhan Wushuang, two top geniuses. This was going to pierce through the sky. Didn't you see that the Fire Dragon King had scared Feng Yinxue away? Brother Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the Crimson Dragon flew back. Shen Jingqiu also came to his side. Are you guys okay? Lin Xian was concerned. The three of them shook their heads. Let's go. Lin Xian waved his hand, wanting everyone to leave. However, at this moment, a sinister laugh rang out. Want to leave? Can you leave? Endless laws appeared, piercing through the void and enveloping Lin Xian and the others. Not good. The saint is here. The spectators in the distance wanted to retreat, but at this moment, they screamed. Was the saint going to attack Lin Xian? Damn it, you dare to ignore the immemorial Treaty of Alliance? Don't you want to live anymore? The Crimson Dragon roared crazily. The immemorial Treaty of Alliance was still on the ground, and the saint could not make a move. Now, someone dared to openly challenge the treaty. Sorry, I'm not a saint, but a half-step saint. It's not a violation of the rules, right? A figure descended from the sky. It was a middle-aged man. His face was incomparably familiar. It was the soul imprint that Lin Xian had destroyed previously. Damn it, the other party's main body actually came. He did not expect the other party to be a half-step saint. Kid, not good. A half-step saint has already comprehended a trace of the power of laws, far surpassing an invincible king. The Crimson Dragon's expression was ugly. Lin Xian's expression was cold. This war race was really courting death. They actually sent a half-step saint to kill him. A biting cold light burst out from his eyes. The half-step saint in the sky sneered. Useless kid, even if you have the dragon sword soul and the 9 yang divine body, you still can't resist. I'm using the power of laws. Laws danced around him. Although they were fragments of laws, they still surpassed the level of a king. The half-saint of the war race revealed a sinister smile. I will kill you with my own hands and then extract your great dragon sword soul. Now, go to hell. He reached out a hand that was completely formed from law fragments. It's over. Lin Xian is really going to die. Those people in the distance screamed in fear. They didn't expect the War Clan's half-saint to arrive so quickly. Could it be that this was premeditated? In this moment of crisis, when Lin Xian and the others wanted to fight back, a sigh came from the sky. The palm of law instantly turned to dust, and the half-saint's body split apart, turning into a bloody mist that no longer existed. A half-saint expert had died. Who did it? A saint? Everyone went crazy. Today's events were becoming more and more terrifying. Were they trying to pierce through the heavens? Even a saint had appeared. The Crimson Dragon, Murong Qingcheng, and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Xian's brows twitched. He felt a wave of law energy wrap around them. In the next moment, they left the vast mountain. Lin Xian had been taken away by a saint. It was definitely a saint from a mortal palace. Those in the distance cried out in alarm. At the same time, this matter quickly swept through the entire true spirit world. Everyone knew about this battle. They were shocked by Lin Xian's strength. 50,000 Archean geniuses were killed, and the war race's peerless genius, Zhan Wushuang, was also killed. Not only that, the war race also lost a half-saint. In an instant, this battle turned into a storm that shocked the human race's geniuses and Archean experts. Gu Santong, Wu Hua, and the others were shocked when they heard this. They hadn't seen Brother Lin for a few months, but he had already become so powerful. When Yi Wudao heard this news, his eyes flickered. It seemed like he had also entered the realm of invincible kings. The 10,000 ancient races were silent. The 10,000 Dragon Empire and Divine Emperor Ridge's people had gloomy expressions. The Fire Qilin Cave was furious. Damn it, that useless Huomuzhen was truly trash. He had lost face for the Fire Qilin Cave. The Qilin Crown Prince roared, making everyone silent. The war race was even more furious. Their number one genius had been killed. Not only that, they had also lost a half-saint. This was unbearable. However, what frightened them was that they didn't know which saint had done it. Was it Xiaojio? When they thought of that old man, they were terrified. In the end, the war race's old ancestor sent a message, telling the war race's saints, including the half-saints, not to act rashly. Otherwise, there would be a disaster. The reactions of all sides were different, but countless warriors were discussing this battle. On the other side, Lin Xian and the others left the vast mountain. When they appeared again, they found that they had returned to Immortal Palace. It seemed like it was indeed Immortal Palace's saint who had done it. I didn't expect you to grow so quickly. It's really surprising. In the main hall, an old figure turned around. Seeing this person, Morong Qingcheng was relieved. Shen Jingqiu was shocked and nervous. Lin Xian's expression changed. He was overjoyed. Greetings, Elder Xia. The person in front of him was Xia Jiuyo. Was it the other party's true body or a clone? Xia Jiuyo said with a chuckle, I came to inform you of something. The House of Prodigy is about to open. If you want to walk the path of Great Emperor, you must first join the House of Prodigy. Was the path of Great Emperor about to open? Hearing this, Lin Xian's body trembled. Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu were also stunned. The Crimson Dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. Was it finally about to begin? His voice was trembling a little. The path of Great Emperor was an extremely cruel path. Once one walked it, there was a high chance of dying inside. How many shocking geniuses had confidently walked the path of Great Emperor, but in the end, they turned into a pile of bones. And this time, it would be even more dangerous. With the revival of the 10,000 ancient races, so many geniuses had appeared. One could imagine how difficult the path of Great Emperor in this era would be. Lin Xian clenched his fists. His eyes were shining with excitement. How am I going to participate? To put it bluntly, the path of the Great Emperor was an ancient starry sky path that had existed since a long time ago. This path is too mysterious and profound. It's not only in our true spirit world. Moreover, there are many ways to enter this path. The immemorial royal family and the remote ancient families must have their own ways. And if you want to enter the path of Great Emperor, you must first enter the House of Prodigy. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. There was a lot of information in this sentence. The path of Great Emperor was an ancient starry sky path that didn't only exist in the true spirit world. So, where else did it exist? The remote ancient families and the 10,000 ancient races were both emperor races. It seemed like the emperor races had a special way to enter, and for people like them who weren't from the emperor races, entering the House of Prodigy would require a lot of effort. Then, what was this House of Prodigy? Was it a mysterious force? Why hadn't he heard of it before? Lin Xian didn't know any of this. Chapter 2994. Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu didn't know either. Both of them pricked up their ears and listened carefully. This time, even the Crimson Dragon was quiet. Xia Jiuyo said, I know you have a lot of questions. Ask me now. I'll try my best to tell you what I can. Even if you don't know what I can't tell you now, you can figure it out yourself in the future. Hearing this, Lin Xian couldn't wait to ask, where is the extraordinary warrior mansion? How long is the Great Emperor's road? What are the difficulties and mysteries? Also, if he doesn't only exist in the true spirit world, where does he exist? Lin Xian was really confused, especially not only in the true spirit world. One should know how vast the true spirit world was. Eastern Barren, Western Desert, Southern Ridge, Northern Plains, and Central Region. There were many mysterious areas and forbidden areas that humans couldn't set foot in. Is such a world not enough to include the Great Emperor's Road? Seems like you have a lot of doubts. All right, I'll answer these questions for you, Xiajiu said with a smile. The Extraordinary Warrior Mansion was a very mysterious place. It wasn't a sacred ground, but it wasn't weaker than a sacred ground. It was even stronger and more mysterious. It could be said that it was the entrance to the Great Emperor's Road in the true spirit world. Or you can see it as a screening qualification. Only by successfully entering the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion would you be qualified to walk the Great Emperor's Road. One should know that the Great Emperor's Road wasn't something that just anyone could enter. Without a certain qualification, you wouldn't be able to enter even if you broke your head. You'll know this when you get to the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. The number of geniuses participating in the Great Emperor's Road is far more than you can imagine. Although the 10,000 ancient races and remote antiquity families had their own ways to enter the Great Emperor's Road, they would still send some people to join the Extraordinary Warrior Mansion. After all, the more people who entered the Great Emperor's Road, the greater their hope. As long as one person could walk to the end and become a great emperor, then they would have made the right bet. The glory would last for tens of thousands of years. As for your second question, I'll explain it to you. The true spirit world, you see this world, but it's just one. And in the myriad worlds, the universe, and the stars, there are many more like the true spirit world. So many that you can't even imagine. Of course, the true spirit world was very special, and there weren't many places in the entire universe that could compare to it. But in other worlds, living beings and races were as numerous as the stars in the sky. For example, some of the 10,000 ancient races came from other star worlds and were not natives of true spirit world. In the universe, there were many worlds. Lin Xian was extremely shocked. He didn't know, because even if he was an invincible king, he wouldn't be able to escape from this world. Only saints could break free from the shackles of the world and enter the outer space. Xia Jia waved his hand, and the void cracked open. Countless stars floated within the crack. Do you see the stars in the sky? Many of them are worlds just like ours. There were living beings and martial artists on it. Our true spirit world has a very special name. A very special name. What is it? Lin Xian was at a loss. Origin planet. Origin planet. Lin Xian murmured. The crimson dragon's eyes flickered, and no one knew what he was thinking. Shen Jingqiu and Murong Qingcheng were also at a loss. There are countless living beings in the universe, and many of them came from our true spirit world. However, they left too early, perhaps in the primordial era, or even before the primordial era. They went to other stars and didn't come back. Instead, they reproduced there and built their own worlds. Our true spirit world, which is the origin planet, has too many secrets, so many that even I only know a part of it. There are still a lot of mysteries and unknowns waiting for people to explore. Lin Xian was shocked after hearing this. He didn't expect the true spirit world to have such a mysterious position in the entire universe. At the same time, what shocked him even more was that there were so many stars in the universe. Didn't that mean there were thousands of worlds? Just the true spirit world had so many monstrous geniuses. How many monstrous geniuses were there in the universe? And all of them were about to embark on the path to becoming a great emperor. Heavens! Lin Xian didn't dare to imagine. He felt his blood boiling. At the same time, he also knew how difficult it was to become a great emperor. Not only did he have to compete with the geniuses of the true spirit world, but he also had to contend with the geniuses of the universe. How difficult was that? As for those who had become great emperors, how terrifying were they? They were probably invincible in the universe. Since you know about the myriad heavens, the myriad worlds, the universe, and the stars, then I can tell you. The path to becoming a great emperor is an ancient path that traverses the universe and the universe. You start from our true spirit world and then experience one star after another. Every time was a trial, a competition. Only by reaching the end would one be able to ascend to the peak. So that's how it is. Murong Qingcheng and Xinjingqiu suddenly understood. They had never heard of such an ancient secret. Lin Xian also clenched his fists and took a deep breath. Now, he finally understood what the path to becoming a great emperor was. Seeing Lin Xian's excited look, Xia Zhiyo spoke again. Although you're not a descendant of the monarch race and don't have a heaven-defying bloodline, you have the great dragon sword soul and the 9 yang divine body. If you master these 2 things, you won't be weaker than the descendants of the monarch race. You can even compete with those princes and princesses. But in the end, whether you can become a great emperor depends on your luck. I understand. Lin Xian nodded solemnly. Indeed, it was too difficult to become a great emperor. The 9 yang sword saint was powerful, but he wasn't a great emperor. He was even killed by a demon in the end. And the possessor of the great dragon sword soul was already the 5th or 6th generation. But in history, it seemed that only the 1st generation of the great dragon sword soul had become a great emperor, and the other generations didn't become one. It was easy to imagine how difficult it was to become a great emperor. Even those princes and princesses found it very difficult to become a great emperor. At this moment, Xia Zhiyo said, apart from our true spirit world, you may encounter many powerful enemies, so you must be careful. Don't worry, old Xia. I know what I'm doing. Lin Xian nodded. Xia Zhiyo continued. Apart from that, there's something I want to remind you of, because once you step on the ancient path, we won't know when we'll meet again. So I'll give you a reminder. What is it? Lin Xian asked. He was extremely puzzled. What could have caused Xia Zhiyo to have such a grave expression? Chapter 2995. Could it be that there's something special in the ancient starry sky path? Even a super sage like Elder Xia had to be careful in the universe. Other than our origin star, there's another place that you have to be especially careful of. You can't be careless. What place? Could it be that there's another life forbidden zone in the universe? It's not a life forbidden zone, but another star called the Big Dipper. It exists in the vast universe. Of course, it has another name that resounds throughout the ancient starry sky path. It's called the Buried Emperor Star. Buried Emperor Star. Hearing this, Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Dark red, Shinom shuddered. Murong Qingcheng's eyelashes trembled. Why does this name sound so terrifying? Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Buried Emperor Star. Could it be that all the great emperors are buried there? Not all of them, but most of the extremely famous great emperors from all over the universe were hiding there. It can be said that the Big Dipper is an extremely terrifying existence. There are probably many descendants of great emperors on it. Of course, there are also great emperors' mausoleums and endless mysteries. There are even many inheritances of great emperors. It can be said that it's a paradise for adventure and a hiding place for geniuses. When you reach there, you have to be careful. Lin Xian's expression was solemn. Origin star, buried emperor star. One is the starting point. The other is the end. It's really a very special world. Xia Zhiyo explained again, and Lin Xian noted it down one by one, because he knew that these were all precious experiences. After leaving, it would be difficult for others to tell him. After listening, Lin Xian asked, Elder Xia, what do I have to do to enter the extraordinary scholar residence? I estimate that in at most 1 or 2 months, the extraordinary scholar residence will reappear in the world. At that time, all the geniuses and talents who want to ascend the path to great emperor will participate in the extraordinary scholar residences test. However, I don't think you need to. You're so famous and you're a top genius of the human race. I think the extraordinary scholar residence will invite you directly. You just need to wait here patiently. Understood. Lin Xian nodded. Xia Zhuyo's body became fainter and fainter. There's one more thing I have to remind you of. You don't necessarily have to enter the extraordinary warrior manner and ascend the ancient starry sky path. This is because our true spirit world has become a special place after the path to the Emperor realm opens. At that time, those geniuses and monstrous geniuses who have stepped into the Emperor realm might come to our true spirit world. Therefore, a portion of the geniuses chose to stay here and wait. This was also a form of training. As for how you choose, it's up to you. After saying that, Xia Zhuyo's body became fainter and fainter. In the end, he disappeared into the void. There was actually such a thing. After Lin Xian heard this, he was extremely shocked. What Xia Zhuyo had told him today was too shocking. It was far beyond his understanding. He came from a small island in the endless sea. At that time, he had felt that the heavenly Martial Island was the entire world. However, when he had come to the eastern wasteland, he had realized that the Martial Heaven world was just an island. Later, he learned about the eastern wasteland, the western desert, and the entire true spirit world. It was too vast, far surpassing the heavenly Martial continent. Here in the true spirit world, there were countless sacred grounds, great sects, ancient families, and even the 10,000 ancient races. This made Lin Xian realize that there were countless geniuses and experts here. But now, Xia Zhuyo had told him that it was just a planet. There were countless planets and worlds in the universe. The entire universe was vast and mysterious. All of this challenged Lin Xian's understanding. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian prepared to slowly digest this information. He looked at Murong Qingcheng and Shenjing Qiu. Qingcheng, Qiu, what do you two plan to do? Do you want to walk the path to the Emperor realm with me? Big brother Lin Xian, this matter is too shocking. Qiu's mind is still a little blank. I have to think about it properly. Murong also said, Big brother Xian, I have to go back and discuss this matter with Master. All right. Lin Xian nodded. He knew that this matter couldn't be forced. After all, stepping on the path to the Emperor realm was equivalent to disregarding life and death. It could be said that it was extremely dangerous. Therefore, he wouldn't force the two of them. After letting the Crimson Dragon send the two of them off, Lin Xian sat down cross-legged and began to wait patiently. Apart from him, the other sacred grounds, ancient families, and 10,000 ancient races. Those old ancestors and sages also began to tell their young descendants about the path to the Emperor realm and the various worlds. After hearing this, the geniuses of the younger generation cried out in surprise. They didn't expect that there would be such a vast and mysterious world in the universe. All of this made them exclaim in surprise. The origin star, our true spirit world, is actually so important. Many saints exclaimed, What? The buried Emperor's star? There's actually such a star. Many emperors were buried there. Doesn't that mean that there are countless inheritances of emperors there? After hearing this, many geniuses' breathing quickened. Even those experts who had been famous for a long time had their eyes red. The successor of an emperor realm. These 4 words were so heavy, they knew that until now. They only knew that Yen Nantian had obtained the inheritance of an emperor realm emperor. Of course, the other ancient families and 10,000 ancient races definitely had emperor realm inheritances. But even if they did, it wasn't something that anyone could cultivate. Even someone as strong as Yi Wudao had never heard that he had inherited Emperor Ye's inheritance. Therefore, one could imagine how difficult it was to obtain the inheritance of an emperor realm emperor. And in the universe, there was a buried emperor's star. There were many inheritances of emperors there. If they could enter that place, Wouldn't it mean that they had a chance to become the successor of an emperor, realm emperor? Thinking of this, these people couldn't wait. Ha! I've decided that my goal is the sea of stars. Many people were excited and prepared to step on the path to the universe. That's a must. I'm the man who wants to become the successor of an emperor, realm emperor. Forget it. I'm the man who wants to become an emperor, realm emperor. Hee hee. Aren't you afraid that the wind will cut your tongue? Even someone as strong as Lin Xian, Yi Wudao, and Yen Nantian wouldn't dare to say such big words, right? Everyone was discussing it. It was very lively. Yi family, in front of an ancient palace. An old man with a sage-like demeanor stood there, emitting a mysterious aura. Opposite him were countless members of the Yi family. Among them, the strongest was the Yi family's patriarch. Beside him was Yi Wudao. At this moment, Yi Wudao's face was filled with shock because he had just learned about the matter of the myriad worlds. The young disciples behind him were even more excited. They didn't know what they had to do to step on the ancient path to the stars. This was what they were most concerned about. The Yi family's patriarch asked in a trembling voice, "Patriarch, do you want to open that thing?" Chapter 2996. At the front, the sage-like old man nodded his head slightly. That's enough. Choose a few top disciples and enter. Let's see who's fated to obtain it. Yi Wudao's eyes flickered. The young disciples and geniuses of the Yi family began to discuss among themselves. What was that place? Seeing how serious the family head and the patriarch were, could it be? They quickly discussed and guessed. The sage-like old man at the front coughed softly. Immediately, the entire hall fell silent. There was no need to guess. The opening of the path to the great emperor, coupled with the golden age, would be much more difficult than before. Our Yi family is an emperor family, a clan of the ancients, and even has an emperor weapon. It could be said that our Yi family is the most powerful family in the world. Even the immemorial royal family wouldn't dare to make a move against us. However, this was just for now. In the future, once a true great emperor appears, both the clan of the ancients and the 10,000 immemorial races will have to submit to him. Therefore, our Yi family must have another great emperor. Speaking of this, the sage-like patriarch exuded a terrifying aura. Countless runes intertwined on his body. His eyes became sharp, like the starry sky of the universe. From now on, I'm going to open the Yi family's ancestral land. It contains the great emperor's inheritance left behind by Heavenly Emperor Yi. Who can obtain? It will depend on your luck and fortune. What? Opening the ancestral land? The great emperor's inheritance. The Yi family's geniuses took a deep breath, their eyes burning with passion. Even Yi Wudao clenched his fists, his face full of excitement. Was the great emperor's inheritance finally about to be opened? He had to get it. Not only the Yi family, but the Gu family as well. At this moment, the Gu family was also in a state of excitement. Gu Santong's eyes flickered. He looked at the figure in front of him, his expression extremely solemn. In front of him was a slender figure. The figure was surrounded by a holy light, which was extremely hazy. It was impossible to see clearly. Apart from Gu Santong, the other geniuses of the Gu family looked at the figure with a trace of respect. This was because this was the Gu family's divine body. Its status in the Gu family was no less than Yi Wudao's in the Yi family. It could be said that this was the future of the Gu family. This time, this figure had also come out of seclusion. Moreover, he would also participate in the competition for the inheritance of the Void Emperor. With him around, it would be difficult for others to obtain it. The Grand Xia dynasty, Nine Li dynasty, Myriad Buddha temple, and other extreme holy grounds were all preparing to open the great emperor's inheritance. They let their disciples rely on their opportunities. The Jade Lake Sacred Ground was also an extreme Tao sacred ground, and also had the inheritance left behind by the Queen Mother of the West. At this moment, Murong Qingcheng and the 9 figures behind him were standing in the main hall. In front of them were the Queen Mother of the West and the 2 Saint Patriarchs. The 10 of you have been selected to enter the ancient desolate tower. Whether or not you can obtain the inheritance will depend on you. Murong Qingcheng took a deep breath. Half a day ago, she had already spread the news to Lin Xian and told him about her situation. Next, she would enter the ancient desolation tower. She did not know what was waiting for her inside the desolate tower. Yaoguang Holy Land. Although they possessed extreme weapons, they had never produced a great emperor. Their sacred ground was extremely peculiar and strange. At that moment, the Alcade Saint Lord looked at the Alcade Saint Son before him and asked in a deep voice, "Disciple, do you want to enter the House of Prodigy?" Replying to Master, "I do not wish to enter yet. Since the ancient starry sky path has opened, my quintessential world is also one of the stops. In that case, I will wait in the Alcade Saint Lord and meet the experts of the myriad worlds. Tao Yi Holy Ground, Tao Yi Holy Sun, all beginnings holy ground, all beginnings holy daughter, Lanrua Temple, Wuhua, and other saints and saintesses were preparing to enter the ancient starry sky path. While the humans were busy, the 10,000 ancient races were the same. Some ancient theocrats and powerful races were also making their own preparations. The nest of 10,000 dragons, Divine Phoenix Ridge, and Fire Cheelin Cave had sent a portion of their geniuses to enter the House of Prodigy. As for the others, they had their own methods to enter the ancient starry sky path. Among them, the Dragon Crown Prince, Phoenix Princess, and Cheelin Crown Prince were the princes and princesses respectively. Their identities were too special. The 3 of them were even stronger and more terrifying than Yi Wudao and the Gu clan's divine physique. That was because they were the descendants of great emperors and had the inheritances of great emperors in their hands. Their bloodlines were even more terrifying. It could be said that their physical bodies had reached the saint realm. It probably wouldn't be long before they comprehended the laws of heaven and earth and became true saints. They were definitely the favored children of heaven and earth. In the true spirit world, there was no one whose talent and bloodline were stronger than theirs. At this moment, the Dragon Crown Prince, Cheelin Crown Prince, and Phoenix Princess didn't move. They were still cultivating. They decided to wait until they became true saints before making a move. At that time, they would sweep through the world. The entire true spirit world became busy and restless because of the opening of the House of Prodigy and the ancient starry sky path. Lin Xian was still patiently waiting. Finally, on the 21st day, someone came to the immortal palace. It was a child wearing a Taoist robe. His face was delicate and pretty, and he looked to be 8 or 9 years old. He rode an immortal crane and descended from the sky. Soon, he arrived outside the immortal palace. "Who is it?" the immortal palace's guardian asked in a deep voice. The child sat on the immortal crane and said indifferently, "Envoy from the House of Prodigy." "Someone from the House of Prodigy." The guardian was extremely shocked. He respectfully said, "Please wait. I will inform the palace master and elders." As he said that, he turned into a stream of light and rushed inside. Soon, Li Xuanxian, the head guardian, and the elders of the immortal palace personally came to welcome him. The array formation opened, and they respectfully invited the celestial child in. The child nodded slightly and rode the immortal crane into the immortal palace. On the other side, Lin Xian also received the news. At this moment, he led Peacock and the other young disciples and stood in the Star Palace, waiting. "He's here." Behind them, Peacock and the others exclaimed. Lin Xian raised his head and looked forward. In front of him, an immortal crane descended, bringing with it a vast aura. Sitting on it was a young child. "You are Lin Xian?" The young child looked down and stared at Lin Xian. "That's right, it's me." The young child waved his small hand, and an invitation floated down from the sky and landed in Lin Xian's hands. After Lin Xian received it, he narrowed his eyes. The style of the invitation was very simple and strange, and it was neither gold nor stone. He didn't know what material it was made of. When he held it, he could feel a strange energy flowing within it. At the same time, he heard the child's voice above him. "Since you have accepted the invitation, it means that you are willing to join the House of Prodigy. 7 days later, pour your energy into the invitation, and it will bring you to the House of Prodigy." After saying that, the young child rode the immortal crane and turned around to leave. House of Prodigy? Lin Xian held the invitation, and his eyes flickered. Around him, Peacock, Hui Dao, and the others were extremely envious. They wondered how many people could receive this invitation. Chapter 2997. Lin Xian was not the only one who received an invitation. In addition to Lin Xian, Yan Nantian also received an invitation. The House of Prodigy also sent invitations to Wu Qin and Yi Wu Dao. However, the two of them were existences of the extreme Dao Holy Lands, so the two of them did not accept the invitation. It seemed that only Lin Xian and the other 5 titled geniuses of the human race could make the House of Prodigy take the initiative to send an invitation. Other than that, the others had to be tested before they could enter. Those young geniuses who did not receive an invitation went on their way, because, according to the released news, the House of Prodigy was in the middle ground. Moreover, it was rumored that there were some requirements. It seemed that only geniuses with 40,000 Archean power and above could enter. Moreover, 40,000 Archean power was the lowest limit. When this news came out, it cut off the thoughts of countless people. After all, some saints could not reach 40,000 Archean power. In fact, they could not even reach 30,000. 40,000 Archean power was already a very terrifying existence. Only such a person could enter the House of Prodigy. After Lin Xian received the invitation, he began to prepare. He had already received Murong Qingqing's voice transmission and knew that Murong Qingqing had entered the desolate tower. Therefore, he would not go to the House of Prodigy with him. The other one was Shen Jingqiu. He transmitted his voice over. Shen Jingqiu was preparing to join the House of Prodigy. Lin Xian asked her to come directly. When the time came, he would bring her with him. The other one was the Crimson Dragon. "Rosalong, do you plan to go with me?" Of course. Ben Huang wanted to see what was so special about the ancient starry sky path. The Crimson Dragon bared his teeth and said, "Don't worry, with Ben Huang's combat, strength, and bloodline, there was no problem for him to enter the House of Knights." Lin Xian nodded and waited patiently. The next day, Shen Jingqiu teleported over. After a few more days, which was 7 days later, Lin Xian injected his power into the invitation. Suddenly, the invitation blossomed with light, forming a spatial force that wrapped around Lin Xian. Lin Xian waved his hand and grabbed the Crimson Dragon and Shen Jingqiu. The 3 of them were teleported away. Not long after, they emerged from the void. As soon as he landed, Lin Xian's power surged, and he instantly recovered. Shen Jingqiu and the Crimson Dragon also recovered. The 3 of them looked around curiously. This was a boundless mountain range. It was very vast, and below it was surrounded by clouds. "This place is incredible. This spirit vein is very magical. Where is this place?" "Central State. There was actually such a place." The Crimson Dragon looked around in shock. At the same time, he cried out in alarm. How terrifying! There was actually a terrifying formation. "Brat, looks like this should be the territory of the Prodigy Manor." "That's not right. I've been to the Central State before, but I've never heard of such a place." Shen Jingqiu was puzzled. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He stared at the ruins as he spoke. Most probably, this place had been enveloped by a supreme formation. That's why we didn't see it. Now that the supreme formation has been activated, the Prodigy Manor and this strange mountain range will naturally be discovered by us. The Prodigy Manor is really generous. I wonder how many formations they used to isolate. There are buildings and figures below. It should be there. Let's go. Lin Xian looked at the vast mountain range. There was a palace-like existence. He called out and brought Shen Jingqiu and the Crimson Dragon to fly into the distance. In front of them, buildings appeared. They were located in the mountain range like stars. At the front of the mountain gate, there were 3 big words written in flamboyant calligraphy. Prodigy Manor. These 3 big words were very profound. Shen Jingqiu took a look and almost fainted. The Crimson Dragon trembled. Lin Xian's scalp also went numb. Who wrote it? It's too terrifying. Those who were weaker probably wouldn't even be able to see it. It was the work of a saint. It contained the power of the laws of heaven and earth. The Crimson Dragon curled its lips. Lin Xian and the other 2 landed in front of the mountain gate and looked into the distance. There were mountains and rivers around them. The scenery was spectacular. When Lin Xian came previously, he had already seen it with his heavenly secret divine eyes. These mountains and rivers were actually formations, using the natural landscape as a protective formation. This kind of work could be said to be heaven-defying and unheard of. The Crimson Dragon next to him was also amazed. Shen Jingqiu looked into the distance curiously. Inside the mountain gate, there were many figures swaying. In front of them, there were buildings. They were magnificent like ancient ruins. There was an ancient aura. It was not simple. Lin Xian was shocked. In front of these buildings, they actually felt small. The magnificence of the Prodigy Manor surpassed those of the sacred grounds. Indeed, even their immortal palace was not so magnificent. It was worthy of being the entrance to the path of the great emperor. It was indeed amazing. Who are you? Tell me your names. Do you have an invitation? At this moment, a few children walked over from the distance and asked quickly. These children were also 8 or 9 years old. They had delicate faces, wore Taoist robes, and had flying swords on their backs. They looked very similar to the child who came to deliver the invitation on a crane. This was the invitation. Lin Xian waved his hand and took out the invitation. The Taoist child in front took a look and then smiled. It's you. It seems that you're finally here. Welcome to the Prodigy Manor. I'll bring you in now. The child waved his hand and led the way. Lin Xian and the other 2 followed behind silently. As soon as they entered the mountain gate, countless white clouds appeared under the child's feet and turned into a cloud. It carried them into the sky and flew into the distance. Lin Xian and the other 2 looked down. On the mountain path below, many people were already climbing there. There were ancient creatures and some geniuses of the human race. There were no invitations below. If they wanted to enter the Prodigy Manor, they had to pass 3 tests. You have an invitation, so the treatment is naturally different. You can enter directly. Hearing this, the Crimson Dragon muttered, but Ben Huang doesn't have an invitation, and neither do the little girl and I. Will we be beaten down later? Shen Jingqiu was also a little worried. Tong Ziji turned around and revealed a smile. No need, I know you guys. You're Lin Xian, known as the Central Emperor. You're Shen Jingqiu, an innate spirit body. You're a dragon with a very strong dragon bloodline. Although the 2 of you don't have an invitation, with your bloodline, you can definitely enter the Prodigy Manor. I'll bring you to meet the elders. Not long after, the clouds under their feet landed, and Lin Xian and the others arrived in front of a huge hall. A few figures walked out of the Great Desolation Hall. They were all elders. Most of them were white-haired elders, but there were also some middle-aged men and women. They were surrounded by little Daoist children. "Elder, we've brought them here." The little Daoist child bowed and said. Those people's gazes fell on Lin Xian. Lin Xian took a deep breath and cupped his fists. "Lin Xian, greet seniors." Shen Jingqiu also bowed respectfully. The Crimson Dragon turned its eyes and looked around curiously. "Lin Xian, not bad, not bad." The elders in front stared at Lin Xian nonstop, the successor of the great dragon sword spirit, and the successor of the 9-yang divine body were indeed extraordinary. They could feel the powerful sword, energy, and terrifying physique that Lin Xian's body brought. This was definitely a good seedling. If they nurtured this kid well, he might be able to cultivate to the large success stage. Chapter 2998. Yes, the power of a greater mastery 9-yang divine body was terrifying. A greater mastery dragon's successor was even more terrifying. As long as this kid could cultivate one, he would be able to laugh at the world. The elders in front of him were discussing with smiles on their faces. In the distance, another white cloud descended. On the mountain path in the distance, there were about 10 people walking over. The person on the white cloud was no stranger to Lin Xian. It was Yan Nantian. Yan Nantian also saw Lin Xian. Buzz. Their gazes clashed in the air, creating countless sparks. The void couldn't withstand it and kept shattering. A wave of power swept in all directions. Everyone here was an expert. The elders weren't afraid at all. Even the children didn't have any reaction. There was even a child who waved his hand, and the grade 1 flying sword on his back flew out and cut the spatial rift. This scene shocked the people who had just arrived. These children were too terrifying. Yes, looking at them, they don't seem weaker than us. Damn it, don't talk nonsense. These people were geniuses who had passed the test with great difficulty. There were geniuses of the human race, and also geniuses of the 10,000 ancient races. However, at this moment, they had a strange look in their eyes because these children were too terrifying. Even Lin Xian was taken aback. The kid's power of the Archean Age had almost reached 40,000. Beside him, the dark red dragon also sucked in a breath of cold air. As expected of the House of Prodigy, it was indeed a place full of monsters. In the end, a sage-like elder chuckled and waved his hand. The large crack in the void disappeared. Their gazes moved away from Lin Xian and looked at Yan Nantian. Their eyes lit up again. Yan Nantian, known as the South Emperor. He had obtained the inheritance of the ancient Chaos Emperor and was very powerful, although he didn't have any heaven-defying bloodline. The words inheritance of the ancient Chaos Emperor were enough to explain everything. Yes, his voice was a little immature. Now, let me introduce you to the House of Prodigy. Gasp. Everyone's expression was solemn. Lin Xian also took a deep breath. The little Daoist said, in a deep voice, there were 4 peaks in the House of Prodigy. They were ethereal, exquisite, strategy, and full moon. At the back, the figures were discussing. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. The Crimson Dragon at the side muttered, "Don't tell me we have to choose." "Brother Lin Xian, which one should we choose?" Shen Jingqiu asked. Lin Xian didn't know either. Just by hearing these names, no one could tell what was different about this place. But at this moment, He Tu's Black Earth. He transmitted his voice. In the House of Extraordinary Warriors, the full moon peak was the most prosperous. The elders in front of him should be from the 4 peaks. It seems like he wants to choose you this time. Lin Xian was stunned. Then he asked with a voice transmission, "Hey Tu, how you know so much?" Hey Tu said, "Don't forget, my previous master was the 3rd-generation successor of the Dragon Sword. At that time, with his strength, he naturally joined the extraordinary warrior manner. At that time, which peak did he join? Lin Xian asked. He Tu said, Full Moon Peak. Full Moon Peak? Lin Xian muttered. At this moment, an old man at the front chuckled and said, I guess you guys don't know much about it. Let me say it. Out of the 4 peaks, Ethereal Peak is the strongest. Exquisite Peak, Strategy Peak, and Full Moon Peak. When he said this, a middle-aged man snorted coldly. He was very displeased. From the looks of it, he seemed to be from the Full Moon Peak. The surrounding people were discussing. Even the rankings were out. Of course, they would choose Ethereal Peak. Lin Xian was confused. He asked, Hey Tu, didn't you say that Full Moon Peak is the strongest? Why is Ethereal Wind the strongest now? Hey Tu floated in the air and was shocked. That's not right. Full Moon Peak was the strongest back then. Could it be that something had changed over the years? So much so that the incomparably powerful Full Moon Peak had actually fallen to last place? It seemed that something had happened in between. The 3rd generation of the Dragon Sword was tens of thousands of years ago. It was understandable that there was a change in the rankings. Lin Xian had already guessed a thing or two about this. He then asked, So, which peak should I choose? In his opinion, Ethereal Peak was the strongest. Naturally, he would choose Ethereal Peak. However, He Tu said, Of course you should choose Full Moon Peak. Are you sure you want me to enter the last peak? Lin Xian was surprised. After all, tens of thousands of years had passed. The current Full Moon Peak might have declined. Kid, you don't understand. Back then, I came here with the previous master. Strategy Hall gave you guys a choice for a reason. Each of the 4 peaks has a stele that is used to comprehend the laws of heaven and earth. After all, you guys are likely to enter the Sage Realm. With the help of the steles, you guys can improve quickly. Ethereal Skies Stele, Exquisite Skies Stele, Strategy 8 Desolation Stele, and Full Moon Wordless Stele. These 4 steles are very mysterious and contain the power of the laws of heaven and earth. However, the strangest and most mysterious one is the Full Moon Wordless Stele. Although its power is terrifying, it is very difficult to comprehend. I remember that back then. Only the previous master was able to comprehend it. Of course, he didn't completely comprehend it. He only comprehended a little. But this is already very impressive. If Master had completely comprehended it back then, he probably wouldn't have been killed. At this point, He Tu's mood was a little low. Chapter 2999. Seeing this scene, the 10 figures behind were envious. Although they had also passed the test of the House of Prodigy, they did not receive such treatment. Yan Nanshan's eyes flickered. It seemed like he was making a decision. On the other hand, Lin Xian was surprised. The elders of Ethereal, Exquisite, and Divine Tactics were all here. Why didn't anyone from Full Moon Peak say anything? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. If I remember correctly, there should be another Full Moon Peak. That's right, I'm an elder of Full Moon Peak. A middle-aged man dressed in white walked out. His face was calm, and he had no intention of fighting for it. He said in a deep voice, Full Moon Peak has the Full Moon Wordless Stele. But let me remind you that although the Full Moon Wordless Stele is mysterious, it is extremely difficult to comprehend. So if you want to join Full Moon Peak, think carefully. The white-robed elder was a straightforward person. He did not exaggerate, but pointed out the advantages and disadvantages of the Full Moon Wordless Stele. The advantage was that it was mysterious and powerful. Once one comprehended it successfully, they would be above everyone else. The disadvantage was that it was extremely difficult to comprehend. The silver-robed elder of Ethereal Peak said, Lin Xian, Yan Nantian, think carefully. No one has been able to comprehend the full moon wordless stele for tens of thousands of years. Full Moon Peak is ranked last now. Ethereal Peak is the strongest. If you join us, I guarantee that you will have strong protection and support on your path to becoming a great emperor. All right, I'll join Ethereal Peak. Yen Nantion nodded without much hesitation. Since Ethereal Peak was the strongest, what reason did he have to reject? Great. The silver-robed elder smiled. Yen Nantion, the successor of a great emperor, had joined Ethereal Peak. Ethereal Peak's strength would be even stronger. At the thought of this, he looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was the successor of the great dragon and the successor of the 9 sons. His potential was limitless. The people of Exquisite Peak and Divine Tactics Peak were anxious. Ethereal Peak had already taken one of the 2 top geniuses. They would not let him take the second one, right? They said, silver-robed elder. Ethereal Peak is too greedy. That's right, Lin Xian is for us. The 2 of them fought with each other while the elder of the Full Moon Valley stood there without speaking. Lin Xian took a deep breath when he saw this. Elders, please stop fighting. Thank you for your kindness. However, I want to join the Full Moon Peak. What? As soon as these words came out, everyone was stunned. The 3 elders stood there in a daze, their expressions blank. The white-clothed elder of the Full Moon Peak was also stunned. He couldn't believe his ears. His opponent had actually chosen the Full Moon Peak. Yen Nantion's eyelids also twitched in surprise. The 10 Sky Prides behind him were in a heated discussion. Was this kid's brain flooded with water? Wasn't it said that Full Moon Peak was the worst? That's right. Ethereal Peak had already extended an olive branch to him. He should enter. Could it be that he was afraid of Yen Nantion? The Crimson Dragon and Shen Jingqiu were also surprised. However, Shen Jingqiu said that they would listen to Brother Lin Xian. The Crimson Dragon whispered, "Kid, is there any reason? I'll explain it to you when we get back." Lin Xian transmitted his voice. In front, the elder of the Ethereal Peak came back to his senses and frowned. He said, "Don't tell me you were attracted by the full moon wordless stele. It's just a legend. Even if you enter, you might not be able to comprehend it. It's a waste of time. You have to know that you're now walking the path of the great emperor." The green-robed woman of the Exquisite Peak also frowned. "I know you're strong. You should have more than 50,000 Archean power. But don't be arrogant. Let me tell you something. There are many Sky Prides who have entered the path of the great emperor. In the myriad worlds, many have more than 50,000 Archean power. Your strength belongs to the lower middle of the entire ancient path of the starry sky. You're just talented. You can only reach the peak after our nurturing. If you waste your talent and time now, you'll only become a stepping stone for others." What? Hearing this, the 12 or so Sky Prides behind him were shocked. Lin Xian and Yen Nantion's pupils also shrank. 50,000 Archean power was nothing on the ancient path of the starry sky. This was the first time they heard this news. Seeing Lin Xian's shocked expression, the elder of the Ethereal Peak continued, "Of course, you haven't completely entered the ancient path of the starry sky yet. When you step on other stars, you'll realize that there are too many monstrous geniuses there. Some even have 80,000 to 90,000 Archean power. 80,000 to 90,000. Yen Nantion gasped. The Crimson Dragon and Shen Jingqiu were also shocked. "He's right." The elder of the Full Moon Peak also sighed. "With your talent and the strength of the Ethereal Peak, it's not impossible for you to reach 80,000 to 90,000 Archean power in a few hundred years." This news shocked the Sky Prides. Lin Xian was also shocked. He didn't expect that there would be so many monstrous geniuses on the ancient path of the starry sky. He knew that under normal circumstances, the strongest combat power below the sage realm was only 100,000. His current strength of 50,000 was already very high, but he didn't expect that there would be 80,000 to 90,000 Archean geniuses. How terrifying would that be? Someone like Yi Wudao could kill him and Yen Nantian in an instant with just a look. Moreover, the other party wasn't even a sage. Thinking about it, it was simply unimaginable. However, after He-Tu's reminder, he still said in a deep voice, "I've thought it through. I want to join the full moon peak." The atmosphere became extremely strange. In an instant, the elders at the front were all stunned. They didn't expect that someone would want to join the full moon peak. Why? Was it because of the full moon wordless steel? But everyone in the Prodigy Manor knew that tens of thousands of years ago, other than a single person who had comprehended a little, no one else had comprehended it. No matter how strong Lin Xian was, could he comprehend it? They didn't think so. The elder of the exquisite peak shook his head. The elder of the ethereal peak also had a gloomy expression. Lin Xian was a good seedling. He didn't want to waste it. At this moment, a woman in a blue dress walked out from the side of the silver-robed elder. She had a beautiful face, but her eyes were cold. "Aren't you a little too full of yourself? Do you really think that you have the right to be arrogant just because those people outside conferred you the title of Middle Emperor? In our Prodigy Manor, you're just an ordinary person. The descendant of the great dragon is powerful. The descendant of the 9 sons is powerful. Even if you cultivate to greater success, you're just a sage. Didn't you see that the descendant of the great emperor beside you has chosen our ethereal peak? What reason do you have to refuse?" Obviously, Lin Xian's refusal made the woman in blue very angry. Lin Xian rubbed his nose helplessly. He didn't seem to have offended her. Was it just because he refused? But wasn't this choice voluntary? You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.